Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Milton. How's it going?
I'm good, Franco. Good morning to you too. How are you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Excited about our sponsor-thon and everything that we have going for the organization. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Milton?
Okay, sure. Well, again, you said my first name, and you were seeing my full name there as well on the live. Milton McCulloch. I was born in Jamaica, native of Jamaica. I've been here in the United States almost 30 years now, um, and I currently reside in Orlando, Florida. I actually love and enjoy living here. I've lived in several areas in Central Florida, in the Volusia County, in Seminole County, and currently I'm in Orange County. Um, I am a father. I have a son. I have a granddaughter, a lovely granddaughter now. She's like my world. I call her the boss lady, and and I do a regular 9 to 5 job, so to speak. I'm also an author. I've written like 3 books of poetry. Here's one. It's called, let me back up a bit so y'all can see it. Hold on, my lighting is in the right area. Hold on, is this better? Oh,
A little bit of a glare.
yeah, I noticed that. Um, Let me see if this will help.
There
It's
you
my,
go. The
yeah,
state of life. Yep.
yeah, okay. So I'm trying to get this camera. Okay, there we go. All right, A State of Life, Man, Woman, Child. And then it's my second book here. It's called I'm Just Saying Unfiltered, A Poetic Prescription. Okay. And this is my third book so far. It's called Love and Emancipation. I um I will be at least sharing from one of my first books, a poem called Little Boy, which deals with my actual, well, it gives a little bit of, um, it was written because of my personal abuse by a stepdad that I had. It was very abusive, emotionally and mentally abusive to me. So, yes, I have actually gone on a couple interviews, radio and TV, and I've shared that story about my abuse already before. So that's kind of part of, when you ask me, a little bit about myself. I'm also a playwright. I've had a play that deals with domestic abuse and domestic violence. It's called Tomorrow. It was done. The first time it was done was in 1997. It's a long time. The last time we did it was in 2000 at the Orlando International Fringe Festival. For those of you who are familiar with it, um, and we actually had and we did it. Um, it was downtown. Church Street was, before they moved it to, the up in the Princeton area, and we had Orange TV to come and film it. So some had it on their archives. As a matter of fact, I was just looking at a copy of it recently because someone requested to get a copy. So it's called Tomorrow. So it's very apt that this morning we're participating. Firstly, as a board member, I've been I'm a recent appointed board member for Giving Voices project, and I'm very, 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 very grateful for this opportunity. And I'm constantly thinking of ways how I can help this organization advance its cause. And one of the cause that we have currently is our film project. Correct, Franco?
That's right. We got our film project coming up.
Yes. So I'm going to just as a matter of fact, and one of the things I'm hoping I'll have one of my songs in one of the projects coming up, because I love a song that deals with that. It was specifically written for, if you're going through stuff. And one of the first words in that song says that when the silence is loud.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and when you're going through abuse, sometimes the silence seems loud.
yeah, that's
And
deep.
the pain runs so deep when my thoughts are drowned out and I lay awake when I sleep. And that's exactly how I felt in the situations.
Yeah.
So, um, what I'm going to ask is that you give us a little quick insight about the film project, because that's why we're here primarily this morning, to raise funds for our organization, but to raise funds towards this film.
Yep. So just a couple quick things. I'll quickly tell you about myself, and we'll just give a couple things that we're gonna have a couple giveaways coming up soon. Marjorie's gonna come on, and we're gonna have a quick interview with her. But just a little bit about myself. I'm also um, a recent board member. I joined after my last semester of college. We had an event. I'm actually the tech guy that runs all this stuff.
Hmm.
This is actually my first time in front of the camera. So that's me, the tech guy that usually runs the cameras and all the fun stuff behind the scenes. But I recently joined the board a little bit before Milton. I found it a true honor that I was asked to be on the board, and I love helping out any way I can. A little bit about myself. I recently got engaged, so that's super exciting. Um,
Yay!
so I'm super pumped about that. I graduated college this past year, so that was amazing. It was awesome to be working with Giving Voices in my last semester, and now be a part of their organization. So, and then I have two nephews. My sister recently just had another one, so it's so awesome to be able to play with them and hang out with them. And
Your uncle.
they're just yeah, an uncle. So it's pretty fun. They're just a trip, and they always have some fun memories to bring. So, um, like I said, we're doing a couple giveaways here soon. So I definitely stay tuned in, and well, hopefully you can win some stuff.
Yeah, that would be great for everyone who's listening. We just want to say that we just recently, when was it? Last week, Saturday? Was it Saturday? Am I mixing up my days? We just had our virtual song and poetry event, and I thought it went very well. Again, thank you. Big up to our host,
Yeah.
Tanika, who also does has her own organization that deals with victims of abuse. And so we want to just say thanks again to Tanika for coming on and sharing. At this moment, I'm going to take some time here, Franca, to make sure I can find us on Facebook. And then I'm going to try and share that with my groups and my friends. Um, are you able to tag me so I can get folks to be seeing this right now? I'm looking for.
I just shared it on my page as well.
Okay, I'm trying to find that, and then I can do so shortly. Again, we are so excited to be here this morning. We are really, really, really hoping that we can realize we're trying to, we have a total that we're trying to raise. I will give you that total. All right, so we are trying to raise at least $275 today, um, to bring up to our total that we were trying to raise. And that's the minimum. Okay, we have a minimum or maximum. We don't have a max. Just letting you all know, we don't have a max. So right now, if you are watching this live broadcast right now, I need y'all to do something. For those of you who are watching that this feed right now, whether you're any board member, any members of the recent cast of the song and music, anyone right now, I want you to just say good morning. Tell us good morning. We're saying good morning to you again. So if you're watching, just say good morning. I'm watching. Okay. We have a T-shirt coming up that we're going to be in about maybe 10 minutes. A giveaway.
I'm posting the Cash App now in the comments. So
Okay.
feel free for those who have Cash App. I'm also going to post the PayPal. So feel free to give 5, 10, 5,000, 10,000, whatever your heart desires.
Yeah. Anything will count. Cash App will send. Will you can send $1 in Cash App if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Okay. So sorry. Mm. Give me a moment. I'm going to grab my tea.
So I'm gonna be I'm working on posting the PayPal right now for everyone, um, and I'm also gonna post the website in a few minutes. You guys can log on to the website and pay debit, credit cards on there. Um, for those who do not have Cash App or PayPal, we're just here to raise some funds and continue to just be of assistance to the community. And like it says in our organization title, just give voices to those who may feel like they're unable to do so through any situation. Let me type this up right now for you guys. Alrighty, PayPal is posted, and you guys can also go on our website um, and donate there, like I said. Um, I'll be posting that also shortly. It's just givingvoicesproject.org. And then you guys would just right at the top, if you go on the website, go to the website right now, givingvoicesproject.org. Right at the top, there's a button I could show you because I have it pulled up on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
but it just says donate here. You just click
Okay.
on donate here. That's for the website only. And it'll bring you right to a page where you can put in your donations for a credit or debit card transaction. So I was just telling him, Milton, that I got everything posted from Cash App, PayPal, website.
Yes. I
Feel
could hear you. I couldn't see you.
free to donate. We're just here to help the community, and we need your help to do it.
No, we haven't actually. Let's give for those who are watching or hearing about us for the first time. What is Giving Voices Project? What is our organization or nonprofit organization is about? It's about what? Using the hearts, right? We're using.
Pretty much just, I was just telling them, giving voices to anyone who needs a voice, anyone who has gone through a situation where whether it's domestic abuse, financial abuse, anything like that. We're just giving them a voice to be able to share their story in a comfortable environment where you're not going to be judged, and we're just helping them to come out with it, because a lot of times people hold it in because they don't think it's true, or people are going to deny it or say that they're a liar, because some of these stories can be really tough to go through. But it's definitely something that, we're here just for the community, really, to
Yes.
help them, and just help them come out with anything and make it comfortable for them.
Yes. I'm still trying to find it here, to tag and share for whatever reason. Are you able to like tag me in it so it will pop up on my screen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go on to Giving Voices Project on the
Yeah,
Facebook
I
page.
was just thinking that now.
If everyone, also all the audience members, if you guys can share the video.
Got it. Okay. I see. Now I need to share it. Okay. Mm. Okay, there we go. It's muted. Okay, now I can share. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am sharing, I am sharing.
Sweet.
I
So
am
looks
sharing.
like we have our giveaway coming up soon. With donations of 25, you can be in the running to get a T-shirt and a mug. With donations of 50, you can be in the running to get a hoodie. So yeah, just anything helps. Anything that you guys are willing to offer us, it definitely helps us with the organization and
Right,
doing what we can for the community.
exactly. So who's going to, and you can make your pledges right here. You can just post a pledge. You can just post a pledge, just say that I like the pledge. You can go on and then,
We can definitely reach out to those who may need
yeah,
assistance with that. Just post in the comments.
right.
We'll
Just
reach
click
out.
right now if you'd like to make a pledge at whatever amount, and just go ahead and just state that, please. Um, and then as we will share the link. Well, we have the link. Franco posted the link
Yeah.
to where listen. You don't have to sit. You don't have to tell us actually. If you're going to make a pledge and how much. You can just say I'd like to make a pledge, and let's go to the link and make that pledge. I mean, and submit your done whatever you are you intend to donate. Okay, but we would love for you to just go on and say that. Okay, did anyone say good morning?
I haven't seen any good mornings.
Come on, you got to tell us good morning now. Okay, got to say good morning.
Let
Good
us
morning, everybody. Good morning, bookers.
let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah, we want to know that you're watching. I know some of you are knowing about this for the first time this morning. It's popping up, but we need you to, just go on, let us know that you are with us this morning, okay? That's all we're asking you right now. Okay, somebody calling in a pledge?
Yeah. Sorry about that. With this, situation we have. My phone's talk. Apologize about that. We're
That's
all
okay.
doing this from home, so I was making sure my dogs aren't barking and stuff like that. And then, of course,
Okay. Yeah, I'm still sharing with some more groups and see if we can get them to and please, we're asking you also, because this is for a worthy cause, it's for a great cause. Again, we are an organization, a nonprofit organization giving voices. And what we do is that we provide avenues for people to have a voice, people who are going victims of abuse or domestic violence, just people that need a voice because they've been going through stuff, and then
Yeah.
sometimes they don't have somebody to talk to, or maybe they don't hear about other stories that can encourage them, or give them strength. Because sometimes giving you a voice is not about you speaking; it's about giving you strength to deal with what you're going through as well.
Right.
You hearing about somebody else's story who have been in it and came through, you know, and came through it, overcame, was an overcomer in the
Yeah.
situations. And sometimes people are there, they don't know how to get out of a situation, that they're dealing with, such as a domestic violence or a domestic situation. And so they just need to know that, hey, you know what? Um, yes. Yeah, we that's going with on a Saturday morning with my phone. um, but pretty much, sometimes people just need to have that happening for them. They need to hear about somebody being victorious, in their situation. They have come out on the other end, you know, good, they're okay, and you may still be dealing with after effects of it, but at the same time, you need to know people, you're going to need to know that you're not alone.
Right. Right.
you know
So,
it is 10:31 now. Did anyone meet the criteria for a giveaway?
so we're actually going to bring Marjorie on right now so she can actually tell us a little bit more about herself. She's the founder of Giving Voices and our CEO. Hey, Marjorie, how's it going? Nice mask.
Hey, hey, thank you. I
Good
thought I'd be
morning.
festive today because it is Halloween.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I actually forgot it was Halloween.
This is the best you're gonna get from me as far as Halloween is concerned.
I dressed up as myself for the stream.
My granddaughter dressed up as what's that character, the lead character in Frozen? What's her name again?
oh,
Elsa.
yeah,
Elsa, yeah.
thank you. There you go.
And she was waving her stuff at me on face. I was FaceTiming her. She was waving her wand and
Uh-huh.
was like, "I changed, Grandpa." I
That's
was like,
cute.
"Oh, you did." I'm like, "Oh yeah, baby." I'm like, "Wow."
That's cute. I mean, Halloween is really it's for the kids and the adults because I think adults still want to be able to dress up and have fun. So,
Mm,
we join in with it. So,
we
but
differ with that.
this
We
isn't my favorite. This isn't my favorite holiday. It's Christmas, but I like to have fun with Halloween. So I'm going with the.
There you go.
Is it me or is it my face seem like it's leaning?
It's you.
Okay. I'm trying to correct it, because I'm like, I look like I'm leaning. I look like I'm leaning. I'm with my
Well,
glasses.
you got a little swag to you. You lean a little bit to the side. That's okay.
No, no, no. I ain't got.
No, you don't have a gangster lean. You just.
Yeah. I try that. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to look good for the camera here this morning.
Oh, y'all look good, and y'all were doing really good. I was listening in a little bit as much as I could, and I know you were sharing a little bit about one of the pieces, and so thanks for opening everything up for us, you guys.
I haven't even done it yet. The 30 minutes went so like.
It
Yeah.
goes by fast.
It went
It
by.
goes by.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging in there a little longer today, Margie, as long as I can.
Okay, thank you.
Problem is that my car went down last night, so I gotta
Okay,
go take care of that. I'm actually gonna try to fix it myself.
okay.
I couldn't find the parts. I took it apart, and
Mhm.
they said, I didn't know what the part was, but I took it off, and just took it to the auto store. They said, "Oh, you can get this at the dealer," which or I can go on Amazon. Went on Amazon. It was
That's
$150.
right.
It was
That's right.
$150, but the part wouldn't be here at the earliest until 6th of November. I was like, November 6th? Man, I need it before the election.
in case you need to get out of town.
Okay, you see, you were thinking. I need.
Anyway, we won't go there. We won't go there. So I know you guys are gonna be interviewing me, right? Are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready to do this with a mask on. I feel like I need a mask. Here, this is
All
good.
right. All right. You can't take me seriously like this. Okay.
No, you're good. Let's
Okay,
get
good.
on with it. So Margie, just tell us a little bit about yourself, about the organization. We shared a little bit about it, but I know you can definitely go more in depth about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about yourself and about the organization and how you founded it.
My thing looks crooked. Maybe it's just me. Okay. Um,
It's
so
just me.
so I started the organization in 2015, and we had our first theatrical production, which is The Languages of Abuse, in 2016. Um, the whole idea of the organization, when I first started it, it was the Forgotten Women's Project. It was really about being focused on women who had, gone through abuse and they wanted to share their story in some way. I wanted to give them a platform for their voice to be heard. And I was coming in contact with women who had, they, through their healing process, they started writing. They were writing poems and music and monologues and books, right? And I had my book. And so, and I figured, I wanted to create a space for those voices to be heard. And expressing it artistically was important for me because I used art as a way to go through my own healing process.
Yeah.
And so, when I thought about that process, and I started bringing some women together, other survivors, we had retreats. I would host retreats and bring them together, and we would do, meditations and journaling and painting, and we would use different forms of art therapy, and it was really, really effective. And so I knew there was something to this. I knew if it could work for me and it worked for this small group of women, it would work for others. So I figured once you create these pieces, right, then when you're ready, you have a place that you can share it. So Languages of Abuse was really born out of this way to share all of these different types of creative expressions in a production. And so it was first set to a theatrical production where we would do a vignette of spoken word and then interpretive dance and skits and, those sorts of things and put it together. And we have had 3 productions so far since its inception. And we've done 2 in Flagler County, 1 in Volusia County, and then the plan was, okay, we're gonna, we're here in Orlando area. It's gonna be Orange County, and then COVID hit, and so we really had to rethink how we're going to present this. We were able to snag. I'm going to take this off right now for a few minutes. We were able to snag the director and script writer from the last show that we did and wanted her to work with us again. And she got assembled a team together. And so what we had planned to do was do the theatrical production, but we would film it and stream it live. So that was the hope, that we could just stream it live, still keeping to the theatrical format, because that's important for that campaign. That's really what Languages of Abuse is about for that particular campaign. It's really about the theatrical performance and putting all of the stories out there. And the whole thing about that is we want people to leave from that experience feeling like they've learned something more about how a survivor experiences something, what's really going on in their hearts and in their minds, and maybe answer some of those questions like, why don't they leave? Uh, so, so yeah, so that's, so that was the whole purpose, around that. That was a long answer.
Well, no, it's to the point. So tell me, having done this, you're hoping always that you're affecting people's lives. You are hearing, you're getting results as far as, somebody might say, I was at the languages of abuse, I'm sure that first year, and you don't know, when I left there, I made a decision in my life that I'm no longer going to be taking it,
Mm,
I'm going to, I've got to get out of my situation. Or somebody who knew of somebody else going through a situation, and it helped them to make to take certain steps in order to help others. Because sometimes it's not only the people who are going through who are having difficulty. Dealing with it is also the people who know about it sometimes,
yeah,
who remain silent or inactive
yeah.
in helping somebody else because they feel like, that's not my business.
Hmm.
Don't get involved, I'm pretty sure she knows or he knows, what's happening. And if they don't want to help themselves, I can't help them.
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to deal to this, it ain't my business. So
Yeah.
tell us, how has how has the organization um done as far as that? Have we do we have stories like that?
Yeah. So, you know, in the beginning, that happened a lot. Like after a production, people would come up to me, and I remember one woman saying, I had no idea. I had no idea. I had a friend that went through that, and I couldn't relate, and I thought it was so easy for her to just leave, and I had no idea. And so, what we try to do so that we could better measure the impact we're making with these productions is we try to get the feedback from the audience right after the show, right? So, it's great for someone to come up to me and express that, but we still want to be able to capture it in some way. So we're still working on doing that and being able to capture that information to sort of show, what is the direct impact that we make as an organization for people to know that this is making a difference. I could tell, like I know from the inside how it's making a difference even with the people that contribute their pieces. When they are open to doing that, and when they come and they see their poetry or their song being performed, it does something. It empowers them in such a way
Mm-hmm.
that they feel like they didn't go through this for nothing, right? And so they see the impact so the impact is twofold. It's on the person that's submitted their piece to us to share, and then it's on the people that have an opportunity to see it as well for the first time. So, and that's important. And I think that we're going to be working on, better being able to measure that and know what that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
But we can feel it. And so what's going to be interesting too with
Sorry.
languages of abuse now, because what we're doing is we're taking a theatrical production and we're filming it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm calling it a docu-theatrical film. And so basically it has the feel of watching a theatrical production, but also will have in there pieces of personal accounts, testimonies from the contributors. So those would be the survivors that submitted their stories. We'll have little, like, 2-3 minute clips of them sharing. And then we'll also have behind the scenes and some interviews with the cast that, the cast that we got for this is a great cast. This is a really, really great cast we have. But to be able to share what it's like being a vehicle for these stories as well. And so what I think what we'll do with the film is people will now get an understanding of not just Languages Abuse Campaign, but what goes into it. So the film is not just another way for us to just showcase the stories, but the film is also a way for us to showcase the work the organization does with some of those behind the scenes accounts as well.
Okay.
So that's what makes it, a lot more, I think. This will probably be one of the most important and powerful pieces that we're going to make. It's also going to be probably one of the most expensive, because in the past we have really been blessed to have a lot of in-kind donors and partnerships in the community that have said, we're donating our space to you. We're donating, whatever it is that you need for this project, we're donating that. When you put that in terms of money, it's a lot. It's money we don't have, right? But those in-kind donations, for us to be able to pull that off, that is so important. But for this is different. We have to come up with this $5,000 to have this film done in a professional way, that we can then turn around and then, use that to raise funds as well.
Okay. That's awesome to hear that people have been effective in a positive way when through the presentations, through the different means that we have presented our projects that were presented in the past. And as I said before, it's not just, sorry, I don't know, all of a sudden since I'm drinking this, my throat is scratchy. But it's important that we are able to touch the people who are not actually going through stuff, but they are and don't understand what folks are going through who are in the situation and abusive situations. And as you said about that individual, she never really understood that,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and that's usually the case though, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't understand. They're like, I would never go through that. I would never allow myself to, be submitted to such behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Why did she tolerate him? Why does he tolerate her?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and also, a lot of times they can't even believe that a man can experience abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, I know he ain't no real man. He's gonna let her, get away with stuff like that, or thinking that the guy is just being soft. He's just allowing her because he doesn't want, put her
Yeah.
be with her.
Yeah.
Because if he
Yeah.
has to be with her, she won't be able to. There's no way she's going to, be able to handle a man. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one that we also started to tackle last year with our barbershop talks, where we wanted to start having these conversations around men and abuse. Looking at the two sides of it, from the perspective of the perpetrator and also someone who's been a victim. And trying to understand that and giving voice to that, and not giving voice to the perpetrator and where we're trying to elevate it,
Right.
but just giving voice so there's some understanding. because the important thing we have to realize when we talk about giving voice to people is it's about allowing them to speak their truth, whether we can agree with it or not, right? But
Mhm.
to hear it. Every voice is important because everybody has something to bring to a broader discussion that needs to be had about violence,
Right.
right? And to your question about why does someone tolerate that, why do we as a society even tolerate violence
Period.
on on a larger scale? When you think about it, all of that it can trickle down into our communities and into our homes. So we are tolerating a lot, to be
Mhm.
honest with you,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Um, we're going to take a little moment here. I said I was going to read it. I don't want the time pass without me. Time passed and I would have left this broadcast completely. That's a poem I wrote. It's in my book called A State of Life, Monument. Child is the first one that I wrote, first book of poetry that I wrote. Someone hear the voice in me. Listen, hear the cries of a boy in me. He cries, and it seems no one hears his pleas, asking, where is the help he needs? Can mama help? Can papa help? Can stepmama help? What about steppapa? Not steppapa, not him, not that bastard. I should have hated him. Load his name, Sewell, you fiend of my past. Still seem to wonder in my now. I don't quite understand how. How have you existed this long in my life? When you have long left this earth and recycled to the state of dirt, I thought you could no longer me hurt, yet how wrong I was. So foolish to think the dead no longer speak, their voice is silenced forever, and can no longer hurt the ones they left behind. They can no longer suppress the dreams of a little boy who one day will become a man, with the hope that he must be a better man than you. A better man than the sperm donor for his mama's child. A better man someday. Help me, Lord. Help me. Help this weary soul of mine. Child in me. The boy in me. Rescue the perishing. Care for the dying little boy in me. I swore I would never let anyone again hurt that little boy in me. And I failed my little boy. Little boy, little boy, I have prayed and help is on the way.
Wow.
Help will come morning, noon, evening, or night. I do not know when this almighty help will arrive. And until then, we will hold on. We will, to the end, fight.
Wow, thank you for sharing that, Milton. Thank you. It's really powerful.
Yeah, I wrote that poem in 25 minutes.
Wow.
I never forget it. I was married then, and at 2 o'clock, I was going through a lot of emotional stuff. I was in counseling about, stuff like this too. And I remember waking up I was up and about 2 o'clock, I just couldn't hold it in anymore. I started to just cry. And I decided to just write to help me out of it so I could go sleep.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And I wrote this, and about 25 minutes after, at the end of it, I remember because I don't know how I remember the time. I just remember looking at the time and I was like, oh, I need to go to bed, but I got to write, and it was 2 o'clock. And when I finished, it was like I looked at the time. I was starting to cry, and I said, "Okay, man, I still can't sleep. What time is it?" That was that kind of hard hammer, and the time was 2:25, and I was starting to even get louder with my tears. And she woke up and said, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I'm going through an episode," and I just wrote
You
this.
needed to get it out. You
And
needed to
I
get it
wrote,
out
and I
and
wrote a
express it.
poem.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
That's is the
and she just
healing
grabbed it.
power of
She
the
just
art.
grabbed, yeah, and she grabbed it and she just took it and she read it because she has a degree in counseling, you know, and she's a social worker up to this day. So
Beautiful.
it's her field, and she read it and she was just so moved. She's like, "This is the best poem you ever wrote." I'm like thinking, I can't be the best poem, please. I'm thinking to myself at the time, no, it can't be the best poem. No, I don't want this to be the best poem I wrote.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's powerful. It's very powerful.
I think sometimes, like with giving voices, whenever I think about it, I always think like giving a voice isn't just necessarily speaking out of your mouth, but it could be writing as well. But in that situation of giving that voice, you're giving that person or that individual freedom.
Yes.
They're going to be able to release whatever it is that they're going through writing or through their actual voice, and it's just like a weight is just lifted off their shoulders, and it's in the end of it, it's freedom.
It is.
Change
that is perfect. Yes, Francisco, that's exactly it. Yeah. That's I have to ask you, and I don't know, I might have missed this in the first 30 minutes that you guys were on, because I know you're gonna have to leave soon, Francisco, but did you share about, why you decided to join? Because you joined on, and it was before Milton, so you were the only male on our board. So, so what influenced you to join the organization?
Well, I mean, at first, Marjorie knows I was in my final semester of college, and I had the opportunity to work with Marjorie hand in hand, also with Kim, who's our president. And I just thought the organization was amazing. Like the title alone is giving voices. And once Kim presented the project to me, I was like, let's do it. I'm so down for that. Just the organization as a whole is just amazing. To give opportunities to people, to give a voice, and like I said, just give them freedom. And as I joined, we did expressions of hope in my last semester. And the stories that I heard and the passion from those people, I was just like I was just starstruck. I was speechless. I even talked to Marjorie afterwards. I posted in the comments myself. I was like, wow, like thank you guys for being vulnerable, male and female, just actually sharing your story, and just all that passion just drew me in. And I just loved everything that the organization was about. And I was blessed enough for Marjorie to ask me to be a part of the board, and I felt true honor to be.
Well, Kim even recommended as well, and so when she said that,
I was the first guy to be there. I felt like I was a little out of place, but everything worked out, and now Milton, he's got me now.
We balanced it out, and I gotta say, we feel lucky to have you too, because you're coming with your organizational skills, your project management skills, which is going to help a lot with these projects moving forward. And you come with this level-headedness. You're the person that when us creatives, we get in that zone, you can sort of like bring us down to that level, and we need that balance in the board, for someone to be able to do that, and especially with someone from the younger generation as well. That's important. We pride ourselves on having diversity on the board. We want the board to reflect all the voices.
Right.
And so, you know, we're glad you're here and you're sticking it out.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I thank you for the opportunity again.
No problem. No problem. So you have to go, or can you stick around? What did you do?
I got to step out.
Okay.
I got to take care of some family stuff.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you for coming in on the first hour. We're going to pull Kim in, and we'll let you go, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right,
All right,
bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye. Bye, Milton.
Bye. So Marjorie, as I said, I'm going to be doing some of my poetry today. I think I'm going to do I'm going to stick around a little longer. I think I'll be able to stick around a little longer.
Well, we've got a roster of guests. So let's, do you have the roster in front of you? So we see who's coming on when. Kim is jumping on in a few minutes. And so what we want to do is,
but I know I pretty much, I looked it over. I know Kim is coming on.
So we have our first guests are coming on at 11:30. Actually, let me go ahead and pull it up too. And then I want to show a clip from one of our productions. So we'll bring Kim up real quick. We'll chit chat with her. Oh, and then we have to give away our first prize. So we still have to do that because it's 11 o'clock.
What's the criteria for giving away again?
So a $25 donation, you will get you a t-shirt. And let me show you the t-shirt. And I'm wearing the t-shirt. Ta-da! This is cute. It's a ladies' cut, Giving Voices Project. And and you can see those on our online store, at givingvoicesproject.org. But a $25 donation will get you that cute t-shirt.
My chair seems to be my chair I'm sorry, if you see me moving a lot, it's because my chair is not the most comfortable right now. And it keeps a wheel on it and it keeps moving.
Yeah, I'm on a wheelchair too.
No, but
so she's on a wheelchair too.
A real chair or a wheelchair?
Oh. Kim's in costume. I gotta get in costume too.
Okay, yay!
Hold up here. Don't be discriminating. I'm in costume too.
Well, okay.
Yay.
Yeah, look at my glasses and my shirt, you know.
Yeah, you look like a cool guy.
Yeah, that's my costume today. Cool guy.
The cool guy costume.
I'm the cool gal. I'm Miss Lady.
Let me introduce you to everyone, guys, girls. This is, and everyone in between. This is Kim Crane. She is the president of our board. She has been with our board for, over 2 years now. And she wears many hats. She's also the events committee chair, and she's also the main project manager for the Languages of Abuse Transformations. That's the name of the film, for the film project. So Kim and we go back, and we met, similar paths, and we connected right away. And she connected with the organization's mission and decided to join. And it's been history since then. So tell us, Kim, how it's been.
It's been wonderful. And I met you in 2016. And I think I joined in 2017. So, and we've been doing projects, events. It's been very exciting to do wearable art shows, to do theatrical productions, the LOA, Languages of Abuse, and just various ideas, the barbershop talks, the expression of hope. I'm very proud of this organization, very happy with all the teamwork and the idea of how we give voice to people who need to get their story out. Even if they need to do it anonymously, we find an artist to present their story for them. So I think that's really beautiful of us. So.
Yeah, and you've worked on the salvage to our wearable art show. That was like, yeah, that was the first one you really worked on, and then you did Languages of Abuse, which was a few months later,
Yes.
with Kelly, who we're going to be bringing on, and
Yes.
then now you're more on the logistic sides of the film. What would you say makes this so different than, doing the in-person events like the wearable arts and the theatrical productions?
Well, we have to rely on technology, like what we're doing right now, having video conferencing and things where in the past we would get together and rehearse or practice and meet in person. So that's one of the big difference, because not everybody is tech savvy, and we have to teach each other. And it's been very interesting to learn all the different technologies, and exciting to see where we can go. And
yeah, it is a learning experience, isn't it? All of it.
yeah, it is.
Okay, let's take a moment here really quick to remind people about their donations.
Yes.
That not just for the prize for $25, but you can donate anything, pretty much
any amount. Yeah,
we're gonna say from that. Well, let's say when we say anything, we need from $1 all the way up. There's no limit. So if you are a big sponsor and you feel like giving like $1,000 right now to our project, we will certainly welcome it. We will still give you a prize. It might, it won't be a gold-plated T-shirt, but it will be.
Your name will be in lights because you will be added as a sponsor in the credits for the film. Most definitely.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So our goal this hour I hear is $500. Shara said that. Okay. All right. So we have so if you're watching this live feed right now, please, this is what we want. We want to know that we're not the only one here, looking at our stuff and all that. So please, we can see on Facebook, it says, for example, Anita Weaver is watching, and that's
hi, Anita.
Well, welcome to the live. We know there are other people. Sabrina Kelly is earlier on. She's still on, and I know Shara is there. And so if you're on, just say good morning, say hi, give us some indication that though it tells us, okay, oh, Anita Weaver just sent $20 for voices. Awesome.
Yay! Thank you, Anita.
I think that seemed to have come to me. Yeah. Okay, that's a friend of mine, but they sent it to me instead. Okay, let me know. Yeah, it came to me, so I will forward it to you guys. So let's acknowledge our Anita Weaver just sent that.
Thank you, Anita.
Okay, good.
Appreciate that.
If y'all have any more money to send to me, I will forward it to see if I know it, so I can't hold on to your money all now.
No, we have a Cash App that you can send it to, or you can go to our website at givingvoicesproject.org, click the donate button, and donate from there. And just you can put in the description that it's for the LOA production, and that way we know to credit it there.
She's collecting money from people because she just got another $5 from somebody else.
All right.
Okay, thank you again. And whoever sent that via you, or if you sent it directly, I'm not sure. But we want to say again to Anita, thank you. So she's helping us raise some money. We may have to put on the fundraising committee. But anyhow, we thank her so much. If you are watching out there, so all my peeps, come on, support. All right. My peeps, I'm kind of going to stay on here a little longer than I'm planning. I'm supposed to be until 11:30, but I'm going to try and stay until about 12. And see if we can go. I wanted to, do you have anything going on? Because I said I'm going to be like just doing some impromptu stuff this morning.
Well, we've got some things we do want to share. We want to share a clip from one of the previous Languages of Abuse. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen. I'll minimize you guys, share my screen, and I want to share with the audience one of the pieces that has been from the very beginning that was performed. So I'm going to introduce this to you guys, and I'm going to take you guys down for a minute while I share this. Okay, Milton and Kim? Give me 1 second. All right. All right. So Milton said that you guys could see it, but you couldn't hear it.
That's correct.
That's correct.
Well, that, then it wasn't, it was useless. So sorry about that, guys.
Oh.
So that was actually Tick, Tick, Boom. That was performed in our first Languages of Abuse. And Philippa Rose, who is in the center, she's actually going to be in our production again for the film. So we're so lucky to have her. But yeah, that was actually, I take that back. That was our second production. The first one that we did was in an art gallery.
Right.
And yes, you were there.
I came to watch it, and
yes. And what did you say?
moving.
What did you say about the first one?
Well, initially, I was afraid to come to think because I was afraid to be triggering, but it was so empowering and beautiful. I was like, I loved it. I mean, it moves you, gives you goosebumps, makes your eyes water, and then just makes you happy too. I was just so excited to hear the stories, to see the people express. It was just, you're afraid that you're just going to hear all the sad stuff. And it was just like, it just like moved through, and you could see how people process their stories or something. Or also it's just that the story is being told in a way that goes like, that's reality. Even though it's done in an artistic way, it gets to the empathy and the feelings. And
it does.
I was so pleased. I was truly afraid to, but I was going because you were my friend. And then I was just like, this is wonderful. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't know it was going to be so great. I was afraid I was going to feel sad.
Yeah, we were all nervous. We didn't know, trigger warnings and, how the performances were going to come off,
Right. It was just so, it was empowering. It wasn't just, I don't know. It just became very empowering. And I just had to support as much as I can this organization. So
thank you.
Well, okay, you ready?
No, we got Kelly. Kelly's on our next guest. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but I was looking for Dano, because it's supposed to be Kelly and Dano. We're supposed to be interviewing
Okay.
at 11 o'clock, and I thought it was 11:30. That's why we should have
Okay,
the
go ahead.
roster.
I can
Okay,
hold
well-
on. My stuff with us fill in. So
I'll just
Yeah.
I'll just make sure Dano has the link, just in case.
Okay.
know?
All right. So let me go ahead. I'm going to bring the playwright for the Languages of Abuse Transformations, Ms. Kelly Brown. She is our director and writer for the show. Hello, Kelly.
Hey!
hi, Kelly.
Wow!
Hey, how are you?
Cute.
Good. Milton was my daughter's soccer coach.
Yeah.
I knew he looked familiar.
And Doug was my assistant.
He was, yeah.
Yes.
When
And
you
your
your
son,
poetry, when you released your book, we came to your book signing.
that's
And I
correct.
bought two of your books.
Okay,
And my dad
thank
loved
you.
your book, by the way.
Your dad? Oh,
Yeah, when my dad loves poetry, he lives in Indiana, and he really enjoyed your book.
I remember. Yes, I do remember you all
small
telling me
world.
that he loves poetry. Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
I have three now. I have 3 books of poetry now.
Oh, really? Well, now I know what he's getting for Christmas.
Yes, this is number 2. That's number 2, and this is number 3. So I'm going to share.
Wonderful.
I'm going to share a couple more today that is in line with our organization. So.
Okay, well, I know what he's getting, and he doesn't go online, so.
Well, we're hoping too that eventually, and probably in the Wearable Arts production, we'll be able to use one of Milton's pieces, because we want to hear from a male's voice, right? When it comes to something like this, I think that's important, and I think for you, Kelly, when it comes to writing a script, when we approached you about doing this, the first time you did it, I think it's different, definitely different from what you're doing now. So share with the audience a little bit about when you did it the first time with us versus writing it now.
Well, COVID has really changed many things. The first time that I did it, I kind of went with a quilt theme because it seemed like a patchwork quilt of poems and ideas, and that just seemed to naturally fit, and it worked well. This time I had the idea of a hero's journey and taking a woman who has had experiences but didn't necessarily deal with them for herself, but who always heals others, because in my experience, I see that quite a bit. I come from a theater background, but for a while I took a break from theater and became a massage therapist and kind of an alternative healer of sorts. And there were many broken people in that industry who came from all sorts of traumatic backgrounds. And they would work very hard on healing other people, but they didn't heal themselves. And I see that in the psychology industry, the social worker industry as well. And there's, a great saying, healer, heal thyself. People like to, they like to put other people in front of them so they can ignore their own problems, but they like to help other people. A lot of people are very giving in nature. They like to help. They don't want to address the issues themselves. So I wanted to do a hero's journey. Originally, I wanted her to meet other empowered women in the form of goddesses, but the play kind of took on its own life. That didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to, but we still have some powerful women that she meets, and we have male voices in it.
Yes, we're going to hear from one in a minute.
Well, he's the bad guy, but we have male writers that put in their pieces. Okay. I reached out to friends across the country I didn't necessarily use everyone's work for this piece, but I have them for upcoming, productions. I may not use them this year, but I might use them for the Wearable Arts Show, or I might use them next year, or, after that. But I reach out all across the country to people who send me their stories. I'm on several writing boards. And I just, say, if you have a story, I belong to this organization and we do this. And people like to share. I mean, they trust me with their stories, and I call them. And I think that's what really surprises them is I reach out and call them and let them just talk it out, or I Zoom them and they can just talk it out.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's beautiful that they trust you with that. This particular script it's different because it also takes on a little bit of the internal stuff that goes on, which is really what we say that the languages of abuse is all about. We're telling the stories, right? We want people to get an inside view of what's going on in the heart and in the mind of a
Right.
survivor, and you really do that with this character.
I tried to, but I also tried to use the voices of survivors, use their poetry, use their I put their stories into monologue form. We have songs that survivors wrote. We're getting more songs. I try to use as many tools as were available to us and work them in to something that it's not a hodgepodge where we just throw things in. I wanted them to make a coherent, fluid storyline.
Right.
So it started out as a play, and then COVID came, and we had performers who have, delicate health issues, and we had to be aware of that. So we chose to do a video instead of doing it live on stage in front of an audience, and that's been a challenge.
Yes, we had to pivot into a film form because well, initially we knew we were going to do it as a play, but we were going to stream it live with no audience, right? So
Right.
we felt like that's the safest way. But then we had like a couple of the performers that said they weren't really comfortable with even getting in a space right now. And so instead of saying, well, we're not going to do it, we had to do what we always do, right, Kim? We innovate. we try something new. So, and a film project is something we had talked about for a while that we did After Abuse, which was sort of like the documentary, but we didn't really have too much artistic control over it, as much as when we say, well, we're going to do this in this way and in this form, using, staying true to the theatrical performance, and then entwining into it some of the personal accounts from the survivors, contributors, and people that are part of the project. And speaking about part of the project, we have one of the performers and actors in Wait Here, Dano Waddle, and you.
Hello, Dano.
Good morning, Dano.
Thank you for joining us. Now, Kim, tell us a little bit about Dano's character.
Oh, well, that would be better for Kelly, but he plays.
Kelly. I meant Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Dana plays the angry husband, and our lead character is Psyche. And yes, she's named after the Greek character Psyche, who is, she's the inspiration of the mind. And the character is a social worker in the video, and she's trying to heal herself after she's in the process of getting a divorce, and she's being stalked by her ex-husband. She's very afraid. She's moved to her second home now, and the opening of the movie is she's had a policeman come and check her house out to make sure that it's safe, because she's received a threatening text from her ex-husband, Dano, played by Dano. And at one point in her journey, in her mind, she falls asleep. She's confronted by all of these different figures in her mind, whether they're all forms and aspects of herself, but except for her ex-husband. And her ex-husband confronts her in her dream world. And Dano plays that part. And he's kind of a scary character.
You don't look scary, Dano.
Dano's not scary in real life. He's one of the sweetest people
ever. A bit different from what I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so tell us about, playing a character like this. So, how is that different?
Well, honestly, there were some parts of this that were a bit of a conviction for myself, even because at times I felt like I could even hear myself in some of the words, and kind of making myself reevaluate things that I say that I don't mean the way that they may come across. But getting sort of into this character has been a bit interesting, because I have to basically create something that I have to be completely full of myself and thinking about everything from the point of view that whatever this person's going through isn't important. It's only about how it affects myself. And so I've tried my best to sort of channel that sort of character of just thinking only about it from my point of view. And so I have every piece of the lines that I'm delivering here, I'm trying to think about, okay, is this person who's completely full of themselves to some extent, are they thinking this in a, like, are they sad because of this, because of how it's affected them, or are they angry because this other person is getting in their way? And so it's very much sort of like an explosion of emotions, I think.
I wanted to ask you a question. You are the father of, is it 2 or 3 beautiful daughters?
2 girls.
2 beautiful, and I've met them. They're just lovely. What do you think of this play in terms of, raising 2 daughters? How do you think of, the subject matter?
Great question.
Yeah, I think the subject matter is extremely important, and especially now in a world where, when I grew up, girls dealt with this sort of thing in person, but now my daughters are growing up in a world where they deal with stuff like this even virtually, and through, chatting online, through social media and things like that. There's just all these extra places where you can deal with these different types of abuse. And I think it's good to sort of have this as a way to be able to notice when these things are happening. Because I think a lot of times when, even myself as a man, if I'm going through things that people might be verbally abusing me or things like that, a lot of times I think in our mind, we want to say, no, it's just me. I'm being too sensitive. I'm overthinking things. When in actuality, things like this help point out that, sometimes we're not the ones who are being too sensitive. Sometimes people aren't being sensitive enough to other people and what they're going through. And sort of creating this awareness, I think, is very important, because I think a lot of times people forget this is an issue that goes on. For some people, it's their everyday life.
Right.
And so
I didn't even think of the online issue. My daughter, when she plays games online, she uses a boy's name and a boy's avatar, because she doesn't even want to deal with the sexual harassment deal online.
Yeah, that tells you the power of the words, the power of words, that the abuse is not just this physical form, right? We get that now. It is the words that are spoken and in the tone that is used. And when you talked about realizing from the script that you had to be this person who was all only thinking about themselves, that was selfish. That's the narcissist, right? So you tapped in to that. And do you feel like, now that you're going to be playing this role in some way, and hearing these words, you are now more aware of the things that you're saying to other people, men or women, right? So it's an opportunity to sort of heighten your self-awareness around, how you do use your words.
Exactly. And I think, like I was saying, there's things I know that I've said in this script before. Like, I've called partners so selfish, and it really it made me think, almost as a self-evaluation, have I been this person in my relationships? And I think that's a good question for every person to ask themselves. I think self-evaluation is very important, and I think this can help trigger that. So,
Milton, do you have a question for Dano? Man to man.
Well, Dana, you mentioned earlier on about how when you were, getting into this character, it helped you. It asked you some questions. There are parts of it that you felt like you may have been to some extent, and I think almost everyone, even the victims. Even people who have been victims, because they said people who have been abused become abusers too. So one of the things I would ask you is that, having done that kind of self audit, that quality control on yourself, what were the next actions that you did to either correct or to say, let me go further and find out how deep this runs?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of figuring out where these sorts of things come from myself, from within. Is this something like you suggested, where because I was abused in my past, is this something that I've brought forward, and it's a matter of I now want to feel like I'm in control, and so that's where I sort of I'm the abusee who's become the abuser. I think the way to self-correct in this point is just to look at the things that you say, and realize that even when you may be in a situation that perhaps you are being mistreated, perhaps you are being abused, that those words can have an extreme amount of power to them. And so I, for myself, started really thinking about the words that are coming out of my mouth to not even just in sort of a romantic relationship, but in my friendships, in my relationship with my daughters, thinking about how am I communicating, and then even deeper, what is that communicating? Am I, in trying to get my daughters to do schoolwork, am I being overbearing? Am I pushing them too hard? Are the words that I'm saying motivating them, or are they, doing the reverse of how I'm communicating it?
It's funny because you did automatically realize that this character, like whatever's going on here, this is coming from somewhere, right? So what is it from? And I think that's when we were talking earlier about having an opportunity for all the voices to be heard. It's that sort of thing. When you have the voice of the perpetrator, when you can hear from, you can sort of get to some of the root causes of, why they are controlling. Because when it's control, it's usually about fear, right? So what is it in their past? What's happened in their life? How have they been hurt, so that they too are now hurting, someone else? And it's that perpetual cycle. For us as an organization, it's important that we talk about that cycle. How do we end that cycle? And so it's going to be through, having these conversations and going a little bit deeper and examining, why people do the things that they do, even for the victims, right? Even for those of us that have gone through it, we've had to do that self-examination as well about what will draw us repeatedly to an abusive, controlling person. What are those things? This is a part of human nature, and these are human stories, and so it's important not to just sort of showcase them and share them, but to really, examine them a little bit, more, so that we can, figure out how do we stop this cycle. So thank you so much for being, willing to take on, a role like this, and being a part of it. How has it been so far for you, going through the rehearsals and everything? Is it requiring a lot of you?
It is. I think in my own personal rehearsals, which a lot of times, I have my girls throughout the week, and they go to their moms on the weekends. And I think sometimes during the week, I feel like I can't really give it my all because they're, on the other side of the house or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know how much of this I want them to hear me saying, but
Yeah.
Just today, this morning, I was going through it, and I really let loose at one point, and I started to think, I wonder if I'm going to have to be careful about my neighbors overhearing and thinking there's some sort of like one-sided domestic dispute going on here. But I think
it's like, what's happened to him?
Let go and just fully sort of let this persona take over. I think that's been the hardest part, is I have to push down who I want to be and become this person that I really don't want to be,
Right,
so.
Right. But that's what actors do, right? That's the job. And it's going to be interesting to see how that sort of translates, because, I don't know, have you done a film project before?
I've done some like smaller projects, nothing I think with quite this much work behind it. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Kelly's going to bring it to life. You guys have any more questions for Dano?
Well, I just wanted to say the self-reflectiveness of Dano, and that you don't want to be that type of person. It's very clear. The fact that you try to think about how you are like that, or try to do that, it means you're less likely to be that person you don't want to be anyway. Because the person who wants so much control, they would not be that vulnerable or honest to even. They would be just total denial and gaslight everything. So, I don't see you as anything near that character. That's all I want to say. Because that character, I'm sure, never did what you're talking about that you're doing.
And that's the husband, right? So he's the husband character. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The bully ex-husband.
Yeah, the bully ex-husband. So Kelly, any closing words before we let Dano go?
No, thanks, Dano.
Yeah. Oh, he's great to work with, and he's, he communicates aptly, and I find him very
someday
pleasant.
I'll get his daughters on stage.
Uh-oh.
At least get one.
Yeah, we have math and science kids.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for working with us, Dano. We can't wait to see you on the big screen. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I can just hear Dana saying, I would like to just thank Kelly. I'd like to thank Martin.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
And then for those, if I don't remember your name, just know that, I appreciate, everything that you've done to take me to this point. I do accept the Grammy Award this Emmy Award, Golden Globe Award, with much gratefulness and thankfulness. All those times, especially when I was practicing, and then I saw a flashing light outside. It was a police car.
Oh.
That's funny.
I had to explain, I'm the only one here. I'm by myself, sir.
Right.
I'll make a joke about that.
Nobody's locked up in a basement anywhere else since you got here. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. That was awesome. I'm so glad we got him to come on. So, Kelly, you've never done a script to be adapted for film before. This is your first time.
Right. And I've never directed a film before. So this is kind of trial by fire.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm doing a lot of Skillshare learning real quick.
Yeah.
You're writing the script and you're directing. I mean,
yeah.
And it's so amazing because it's high quality.
It is.
And then when
fortunately, I have many friends who do direct film, and they are quite generous with their skills. They will talk to me late at night and talk me through things when I freak out and have a panic attack.
Hey Kelly, don't worry, you're not the first. I did one once already. It was for 22 minutes. Okay, long ago. It was done on Super VHS. So
God.
This was in the 90s. It was an idea I have to do a Christian soap opera. Half an hour stuff on UPN in the early days of UPN. And it was
wow.
2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. because it was cheap. It was like $200 an hour they were charging us to show it because nobody watched UPN at that time. They were desperate for any kind of money. They were like, we don't get offers to use that time. So, they didn't, not even people with infomercial was using it. So they were like, you want the time? You want that time? 2 o'clock in the morning? Oh man, $200, man. Please.
That still seems like that's too much for that time of morning, to be honest with you.
I'd be really tempted.
No, but on TV, you can always, once it's up there, somebody might see it, and then we want sponsor you to come on earlier, and so we did the pilot and stuff and showed it to the community. We had we have about at a community room. We had over close to 300 people came in attendance. We put it out there, and you didn't have social media the way you had it now. It was 1997, I think it was. And man, Super VHS. You want to listen? We had one camera shooting. Okay, so sometimes
you got to make it work.
Listen, I had to take you had to take out the tape for the B rolls. So you had the A roll shooting. Boom! I was learning on the spot. When you continuations. Because you have to make sure the person who's going to reshoot a scene. Make sure they have somebody with the same T-shirt on.
I've been practicing at home. It's
and the blocking. Hey, listen, if we put up tape on the ground, I know all this stuff. I'm like,
mark the spots
on the ground for blocking. Well, you do. Sometimes you do that even with stage plays too. You have stuff that you put on the ground for people to make sure that they get back to a certain spot, help them. But man, we had to do that. Then we had people with makeup who never been on a film set yet. And we're like in a makeup because we had one guy who was been on film. He worked at Disney. He was a camera guy. And he was helping with direction. And he was like, okay, listen, man, we're going to take this shot. Oh, he was like, oh, we don't have enough light, man. Hold up. Because you're outdoor in the sun, just like when, the clouds cloud came and put the light, the natural light is like, oh, hold on, we got to wait, man. Like,
so we lucky we got some, we've got some, real professionals working on this project. We've got, Jordan Jenkins, who's going to be filming. We've got, your husband, Doug, will be doing lights. He's done lights for us before, great with the lighting. And then we got
a lighting designer.
Yeah. And then we have, and then we're going to be using the Penguin Productions over in Oviedo to be doing the majority of the filming for that. So yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm going to, I know what you go through, girl. And this was super VHS. You think the filming part of it was laborious and quite an experience? When you went into the editing room for it, that was something. Oh yeah, it's like, no. Here was one of the funniest things, if you don't mind me sharing. Okay, was that when we went in there and he was like, okay, y'all have more film, right? Yeah, more film, right? We're like, what do you mean by have more film? Well, dude, this is not enough, man, to edit this part here together. Why you stop filming? You should have to. We learn never stop filming. Let it just run and run and run and run, because even something that you think it was like an improvisation, don't oh, let's stop. No, just keep filming. Let the character keep doing whatever they're doing. That comes in and very handy. You're like, oh,
many of my director friends told me that.
Right?
And they say, just let the actors do a scene where you just throw the script out and let the actors just improv it. Just let them do your scene, but don't worry about the lines. And so I'm going to do that.
And let them feel into the character and into that scene. Yeah. That's
we have amazing actors. All of these people are pros. And
yeah.
Who were some of the actors, Kelly? Can you share some of the names with us?
Sure. We have Cameron Cherboga, who is playing our lead, Psyche. She goes to Flagler University up in St. Augustine. She is a very talented young woman. I always forget how young she is. She seems to me like she's a very old soul. I think she's like 19 or 20, but she always seems to me like she was just born in, instantly 30. But older and wiser. Somebody is at the door. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Going around here as an actress, singer, choreographer. I think she's
True
always
triple threat.
and her mother Tracy has always been on stage too. Maybe that's why. But she's just such a talented young person. We also have Philippa Rose. I think that's her stage name that she goes by. Oh my gosh, this woman is talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's been in previous performances for what it was called Languages of Abuse then. And now she's in our show, but she's also been seen on stage all around Central Florida. Also a triple threat.
Yes.
She also has her own podcast called Crush and Press, which I just started listening to.
It's fun.
A combination murder mystery stories and paranormal stories and just funny stories. She and her cohorts. It's just very enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
She's a talented woman. She's great, and somebody that she went to school with. We got her, Brittany. Her last name
Trellis, I think. Was it Trellis? Trellis.
Yeah, Trellis. Brittany Tellis. Another triple threat.
Yeah, she performed at the Voices Against Violence. She sang as well. Beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All of these women. Our own music director. Is she going to be on the show, Angie?
No, she won't be joining us. No.
She's another triple threat. She's a professional music voice teacher. Angie, how do you say her last name?
Alderone? Aldo.
I don't want to butcher it.
I'm going to look it up.
Audrey, how do you say Angie's last name?
Aldorando.
Yay!
Aldorando. Let me say that for you. Aldorando.
I am so thankful for doing this project because I have met some of the strongest, loveliest women who have just become my sisters in this project. Angie's one of them. Marissa's one of them. I mean, I have made such a sisterhood in this group, and I just feel really blessed. Marissa Glidden is in this. She helps with Rough Magic Shakespeare. She directs for the 3x3s, which is a theater online project. She plays Persephone in this. She is a writer, director, actress. Just the talent we have in this is.
And Mitzi, did we mention Mitzi?
Sparks. She's a motorcyclist.
Really?
She rides like I don't know if it's called dirt bike or something, stunt bikes. Yeah, she's a daredevil in her spare time, and she acts. I think she used to be a model. She's just amazing. She's another person that I met from a previous show, and I'm like, hey, you want to do this show? And she was like, sure. She came onto this because she knew me and she trusted me and just came onto it, didn't know what it was about, and then she found out, but I'm thankful that she stayed, and it became close to her heart. John Pfluger, I knew him from another production, and I wrote in the part of a policeman very recently.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And said, hey, do you want to play this part? And we made the choice to make the policeman a good policeman and a helpful policeman in the hopes that maybe it would inspire other policemen. I have policemen in my family, so, you know, they're not all bad.
That's true. That's true.
But John has, you know, played many roles around Central Florida. He's done other film projects. He's also a writer. He does all sorts of historic reenactments. So we just have many, many talented people in this project.
I know. I made a mistake with Jordan's name. The guy who's doing the filming. It's his last name is Lewis.
Yes.
It's Jordan Lewis. Yeah, yeah. And he's really, really and he's been in television for quite some time now. And he is passionate about this project, so we're really blessed to have him. I wanted to bring him on. It is interesting for someone who's always behind the camera. He doesn't like to be in front of the camera.
He has wonderful energy and a wonderful voice. I mean, he would have been great in front of the camera.
He can narrate.
Yeah. I like his way. He has a very, I don't know, charismatic, charming.
Oh, okay. My stuff just froze.
Yeah,
on me
just for a second. Yeah.
Okay.
You're back.
All right, cool. So, our next guest is going to be joining us shortly. We want to, prepare for them. But Kelly, is there anything you want to share with the audience about maybe a word or two that you would describe this film that they should be prepared for?
I think that some of the subject matter could be triggering for people who have experienced this and haven't dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that it's
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in it that, it's not bloody or gory or graphic. We don't depict anything awful in it. It's more verbal. I think it's more inspiring.
Yes.
Just people to own your own.
I would say that too.
And tackle your issues.
It's definitely an empowering kind of story. It's not going to bring you down.
No, not at all.
Something that I really don't like going to so many fundraisers and so many stories, whether it's domestic violence or missing children or whatever awareness. They're just, I don't want to sit through a depressing story.
Right.
I want something that calls me to action and calls for me to really be inspired. And so that's something that I wanted to write. And this has both.
It does. It does. You definitely feel
Yeah.
that, and it's right in alignment with the entire Languages of Abuse campaign, that we've always felt that we want the stories to be told, but we want the audience to leave feeling empowered in some way, feeling like they've had some questions answered, feeling like they want to take action and do something.
Right.
That's so important for us, and you've definitely done that with
And
this
it has a
script.
sense of humor. It's not.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely tell my actors, I know the stories are dark, but you've got to look for the element of humor to make it human, because people are funny.
Yeah.
People are funny. Even in their darkest times, we always, try to look for something that's humorous, that's just human nature.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for giving all of your time and energy to this project, and just can't wait to see the finished product. So go and enjoy the rest of your Halloween, because I know you will.
I love Halloween.
I know. Thank you, Kelly. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
And you both are my sisters too. I'm blessed to have met you both. And bye, Milton.
Bye. Say hi to the kids. Doug. Yes, I will send you the link for it.
Okay, that's great.
All right. Bye-bye.
So before our next guest comes on, Milton is going to do share another one of his poems with us. Before we get to that, I just want to check in, because we're almost at the top of the hour. And so we've had some, donations coming here, $20, $25. Thank you so much, everyone that is, donating what you can. Like I said, any amount that you share, you will be known as a contributor, and your names will be in the credits as a sponsor of this event, and helping us reach our goal. This hour, if you give a donation of $25 or more, you will get this lovely mug. This is our Giving Voices Project mug. Kim, you have one as well, right? Yes, this is a
there we go.
15 ounces, and it's really quite sturdy, isn't it?
And it's comfortable in the hand.
Yes,
I mean, it feels good, and you don't have to worry about burning your fingers because your hand is over here.
Not at all. Yeah, so you get this lovely mug, and again, we have the T-shirt. So if you want to, you can choose, or you can get this T-shirt, and they have it in gray or red as well. And then at the end, towards, I think we're going to do maybe 1:30, we're giving away the hoodie. Now, Kim, you have a hoodie, don't you?
I do.
And maybe you can grab it and show it when we get towards that time.
Yeah, what happened was I got cold and I started wearing it, and then when I put my costume on, I think I left it on my bed. So
wow, that's okay. If you can grab it towards the end, we don't need it right now, but we're gonna definitely share that. And I know Milton's going to have to go, so we wanted him to maybe share one last poem with us before he leaves. And and then it's me and you, Kim. We're carrying it through for the duration. So
right, okay.
We will.
Well, let us do this before I do anything. Let's tell people when we are going to end, so that folks who think that it's going to be finishing shortly, they're not going to try to get on. Just give them, make sure that I have that information. So what time do we go until it is?
2.
So that means you have approximately just over 2 hours, folks, to join in again. And here's another way you can help us. You might not have anything to give today. We're hoping that you'll have at least $1. But what you could do to help us is share this feed. Share this feed.
Yes, definitely.
Tell them what it's about. They might not know what it's about. Just tell them what it's about. Because we need to, by 2 o'clock, we need to raise $500 towards our film project. And if you're wondering what film project, it's a project that we're doing as part of giving voices to folks who have been through abuse. Correct? Am I correct? I'm on the right track here.
Yeah, well, Languages of Abuse is the campaign, and Transformations is the film project. So we're basically taking the theatrical production and we're putting it as a film. We're filming it as it's a film project. So
right. So so this is a very worthy cause. Okay, we like to throw that word around, worthy cause. All right, but I truly believe in it. I'm a recently appointed board member.
Yay!
Is the president, and Marjorie Boswick is the CEO of it all. She is the top boss of it all. Okay. So we
the one that invented
this is an ongoing stuff. So I'm just appealing to everyone right now. Go tag someone, make a donation. You can make it through Cash App or PayPal. Okay. So go ahead now and let's make that. Yeah, I see people donating. Some more people have donated. Maybe we could give a total. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that. Let you know how close we are and where we are.
We're not close. We are not close.
That's all we need to know right now. We're not close. So we need you to start ching, 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 ching.
Okay. They can do a donation? At our website? Is that where?
Yeah, Kim, you can share that. Our website, they can donate there, and then we also have our Cash App, which is the $, and I think GV project. I think it is.
Just keep putting it up every time, every few. Some people come in that won't see that it was on top of the feed or the comments. So we need to constantly put it down and just keep giving folks up.
Because when I share it didn't come up the where they donate. So Cash App GV project.
Right? Isn't that it? We shared it earlier, Milton.
Yes, I know what I'm saying, but keep sharing that.
Okay.
Because
money can come in after the fact. Listen, if you know that you could maybe give $100 or $500 or whatever it is, but you can't do it today, pledge it. Just put it out there, put it on the chat. You pledge it. We know it's coming. That way we know we're able to move forward with this project in the way we want to. My picture looks nice. So, all right.
Thank you. I like that picture on the back there.
Thank you. I painted it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. We not going to be so rigid on this broadcast now. Don't be so rigid. We need to see, what you've been up to. Come on.
I love to create, and this is what I call woman of color. That's what I've named her. Transparent, vulnerable, faith, bold.
If somebody wants to buy that, no, as a part of the
this is my inner work. It's not for sale.
But
we can make a copy.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we'll make a copy.
If they say I'll give you $1,000 right now, you're gonna be like, no.
All right.
You're gonna be like, no, I can't do that. It's my part. No, you can make another one. Or you just get prints. You can make prints of it.
We can do that. Yeah, there's a lot of options there. So our next guest is in the backstage waiting. Before we do that, we're gonna have Milton do one of his poems for us.
Okay, so this poem, I'm just gonna warn you right now. I'm just going to warn you. All right. Oh, I lost the page just now. Sorry, I found it. Okay. So I'm gonna warn you because it doesn't have strong language, but it just has this poem is called Liberation Day. And it's somebody who a woman who has experienced some abuse. So I kept it real, so to speak. You say you love me, then practice what you preach. I may not know for sure what love is, but I'm damn sure it is not belittling me, putting me down, or putting your hand on me. Whenever you arrive home from work, you're expecting maid service. You hardly lift a finger to help the sister, but every night you want some pleasure. We both have 8 to 5 jobs. You're not the only go-getter. You expect a warm dinner. At times you're home first. I don't understand your attitude. You would rather sit and wait for me and die of hunger and thirst. You say you love me and you still care. You swore you will do better for the last 5 years. When we first met through mutual friends, we seemed to click so well. I thought you were quite a catch. So we saw each other again. Looking back, I would not expect you would change that much and not for the better. So I'm finally putting me first. Oh, yes, I'm moving on before it gets any worse. Hope you're still reading. I spoke to Charmaine. You know the other woman? We both know your game. Remember how you always asking for some more space? My side of the closet is available for your info just in case. Hang in there, I got a bit more to say. I never wanted it to come to this, but your 4 inches and 5 minutes will surely not be missed. The kids are fine with me. I'm not sorry I took everything and left you with just a bed. You must be jumping with joy. You now have more space than you ever wanted. Look in the fridge. There's a glass and a bottle of wine. Raise a toast to me. Raise a toast my way. Because I'm doing the same on this, my Liberation Day.
I like that.
Those 4 inches.
Why you
In 5 minutes.
Kim, that's the thing that you remember of all the.
Yes.
That's where my mind goes.
4 inches and 5 minutes will not be surely me. She didn't want to go there. She didn't really want to go there, but
Listen, we're using that next poem in the Wearable Art Show, just so you know.
Yeah, Liberation Day. I mean, I knew quite a few women who have been through stuff, and one of the things that came up, why that line came up, was that somebody said it to me one time.
Yes.
It's like, men think that because they have this thing between their leg and they think that they, and in some cases it's not that much. So it's not about the literal size itself. And yeah, but in some cases it was about the literal size. So if she just said, he thinks that's gonna keep me here. But the things I'm going through, no, it's not that good.
That's a great poem. So yeah, we'll definitely be using that. Thank you. And you've really shared, some of your most powerful work with us, Milton. So thank you. This helps to give people a better understanding of, the pieces of work that we like to work with, that we utilize, and it's all for the cause. So our next guest, that we're going to bring up in just a few minutes. This was, I can't tell you how blessed we were to find her and have her, agree to let us use her piece in this. So we're going to bring her on, and it's always good to have a story from one of the contributors and to talk to them, about their pieces and the process that they go through to create them. So thank you, Milton. And I know you said you had to go and you weren't even supposed to be on this long.
I know, right?
You came on. Yeah. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we'll carry it home from here. Kim and I. Kim was having some issues with sound. So she left and she's going to come back in.
Okay.
All right.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on this morning. And there is Kim again.
Can you hear Kim?
I still can't hear. I don't know if you can hear me, but I
can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, you hear me?
Yes.
Well.
Do you want to take?
It was the cord.
All right.
I pulled the cord out.
Always a culprit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that will always cause that issue.
Yeah, I didn't know I pulled it out.
Kim, I'm just letting you know from a guy that's not that technical that if that happens,
Yes.
here.
Check the plug. Did you check the plug?
Yeah, just get the plug. They always say that when you call, like Spectrum or somebody.
Yeah.
Could you check your power?
Plug.
Is
I just think it's
your
so simple.
headphones plugged in?
Yeah, make sure that your connection is physically plugged in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go, but
We'll see you tomorrow. We got you're going to be with us as the production meeting and at the board meeting tomorrow. We've got a busy day, so
yes, we
Yeah.
do. We sure
get
do.
some rest.
Just pray that I get my car fixed. I need to
You
get it
will.
because I can't
All
go
right.
on the road and all of that stuff.
I want his car fixed, please.
Yeah. Namaste.
All right.
Namaste.
Have a good one, Milton. Bye-bye.
Be blessed.
Okay. So it's just the two of us, Kim. And for now, because we're going to be bringing on Anik in just a second.
Oh, I love her.
I love her work. And what's so funny is we have these pieces, and a lot of times we may not even have an opportunity to meet some of the contributors like face to face. A lot of it has been, through online, through phone conversations that we've had. And we're thankful that they trust us with their pieces of work, to be able to tell their stories. So shall we bring her on, Kim?
Yes, please.
Right.
Hello.
Hey!
It's so nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. I was so
Yeah.
excited to meet you, kind of face to face a little bit.
Yes. And and it's so funny because it's not like we all live like miles away from each other. We're a car drive, away, but because of COVID, of course. This is how we have to do it. So thank you for making time to be here.
Of course.
Your piece that we're using is actually, this is a new piece because some of the other pieces that are in the production, they've been used before. So this will be, yours is really new. And we're actually using your song to open up the film. So
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be part of it too.
I know. It's amazing. So tell us a little bit about, the process that you go through when you're, creating your music, especially music like this, that really, it digs deep, right? And it's so raw and emotional. So what is that like for you?
Well, since I was a kid, I started music lessons when I was very young. I was going to a local pediatric, Miss Garcia, down in New Smyrna Beach. And I was given a scholarship to go to the Cuccetti School of Music in Edgewater. And they were kind of my saving grace because at the time we didn't have a lot of money. I loved to sing, but I didn't have an outlet. And then I was there for about 5 or 6 years, learning voice and piano under Mary Cuccetti. At the time, I was going to therapy for the things I experienced when I was a kid. Though I've been to thousands of therapists, and nothing that I've done had helped me in any way. It didn't give me what I needed, an outlet that I needed to express how I feel, to move past it. And through music was kind of like the only escape that I had to get these feelings out of my chest, to get the emotions out, and to feel like kind of purge myself. Even though it wasn't at first meant for anybody else, I still I would write constantly. Every day I would write a song. I would try and write out how I felt onto these pages and books. I have like 16 books full of songs that I've written since I was a kid. Just page after page of lyrics and kind of poems that helped me feel like I had control again, and to sing about things that that were bringing me down, things that were like struggling with to get through, whether it was with my health issues or it was the issues with my parental figures in the past, and things like that. And so this song that I wrote, a lot of my newer songs are based on those poems and lyrics and feelings that I had as a kid, that I revised and used now, with the intention that the healing that I got through it, I really want to give that to somebody else. Because singers like Adele and singers like Sam Smith when I was young were the people who helped me through a lot of what I've done. And I feel like it's my place to give back what I can through my music to people who would like to heal.
That is a gift.
Yeah. And it's powerful. Your music that you've made, it's just like so powerful. I'm like blown away.
I remember when we first heard it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called, the title of the song is Black and Blue. That will be, basically part of the soundtrack, for the film. When you first start writing, are you writing because you're going to put music to it, or are you writing just to sort of release at that point? What's your intention when you first start that writing process?
So usually in the beginning, it'll be like a melody or a tune or a verse that kind of comes into my head randomly. And it feels like almost that it's bugging me, like it's in the back of my head and I can't get it out. And so a lot of what I do is I'll just sit down and I'll play on the piano for hours and hours at a time, and I'll work out these feelings through the music. And with that, the lyrics start to build, the melody starts to build, and not all of my songs are intended to be complete songs. I guess it is sort of like a release, but it's my way of flushing those feelings out and like strengthening what I feel. So there's a lot of songs that I've written that may never ever be produced, but when I wrote them at the time, it was something that helped me through how I was feeling. And a lot of them now I hope to give back since I've healed a lot more recently.
That's great. So have you had someone ever come to you and say, how your music has impacted them?
Yes, actually, which was kind of weird. The first week that I had published my song, I had family members and strangers and people online that I knew coming to me and telling me how they could relate to my music and how thanking me for the things that I've done, and how that they could relate to it. And I remember the first time my mom showed the song to my grandmother, she actually started crying because it related so much to how she was treated when she was young and the things she dealt with that it was overwhelming for her. And I could see it move her, which was the most incredible feeling. Made me want to cry. I started weeping a little bit. It's so strange to know that the words that I have could impact someone so magnificently, and it really show them a way to heal or give them that feeling of understanding that someone out there knows what they're going through. Because I feel like it's not really discussed a lot, at least in popular media. People don't want to talk about it because it's painful or it's too controversial. So that's kind of where I was aiming to go with my music, is to use a sublimity to it that people wouldn't necessarily right away get it. To the general public, but people who went through it could understand and feel something through it.
They would identify with what you're saying. It's the words and the tone that you're using and it's something familiar to them. And I remember listening to Black and Blue, and Kim said it made her cry.
Yes, it made me cry. It was just, and goosebumps and everything. I was just
so glad.
It's a stirring up of emotion. That I'm not crying so much in a bad way, but just this.
No, it was just so moving. I was just like, and I was so amazed that because it just definitely sounded like somebody who lived a lot of life.
Right? We were not expecting you to be so young. But I mean, it's really where you cannot, put people in a box or stereotype them or judge them, because we have so many lived experiences. You have no idea what people have gone through. You really don't. And until they share, and open their mouth and tell you their story, and whatever way that they want to tell it, you really would know. And I think the thing for me with music is and we talked about this in our about expressions of hope when we did that panel discussion about you know, how stories are told and in the different art forms that they're told. And I think that each way an artist shares their story, it has a different sort of an impact, you
Absolutely.
know, from music for years. I tell people music has always been about what someone, most of music has been about what someone's lived, right? What they know, you know, and those songs that we most identify with, there's something in there that's familiar to us. And that's what makes it so powerful. Then you have the instruments and then you have the voice, the lyrics, you know, so there's this double thing going on that can really speak, you know, to you versus, you know, the poetry, you know, you're hearing the words and the way that's delivered, that's gonna, you know, give a different impact. Or art, you know, multimedia, you know, what you see, and again, that's all perceptual, you know, but again, it's all of it has this different a different way that it's going to impact you. And I think for me, music, that's why I always wanted it to be a part of our projects. It's you know, it's one of the most powerful, you know, mediums of doing that, you
And
know.
it's almost like too is through music and art, every different medium, just past the appearance or the sound itself. I think there is a some sort of like there's a feeling that within it also travels through. It's the emotion that you get when you see it.
Yeah.
It's the emotion you get when you hear it. And the way that it makes you feel. It's not just a sound. It's not just a picture. When you go through these things and artists and people who are telling other people's stories, there's something real in there, something that's like
Yes.
transfers to people who maybe they haven't experienced it, but they had something similar. They lost a loved one, or
Yes.
they lost some, you know, they've been hurt. Which is like with Black and Blue, it could refer to police brutality, it could refer to abuse, it could refer to emotions or drugs or anything that you went through, whether it just be having bad experiences in life or just feeling, you know, like depressed and not that you can't get through things yourself. To like get through that hurdle, that like step that feels like you're just drowning in it a little bit.
Yeah.
And to take that step over and across, you know, what you've been told that you are. And I feel like a lot of art through that is kind of the main premise that helps people heal, you know, that those words that anyone can relate to or
Yes.
you know, see and
Yeah.
feel through, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's why I don't understand when people say, you know, entertainers cannot speak to something like, you know, our social issues or
Mm-hmm.
politics. I mean,
But that's
there's so much that can be told through entertainment, through through the acting and through the music, you know, through multimedia. I mean, that's another vehicle for your voice to be heard on a different level, you know,
that's
for
so
social
true.
justice or for women's rights, you know, whatever it is. And you know, so I don't get when people say that.
No, and
Yeah,
I feel like there really is. I feel like that's almost the main point of music that people produce
Yeah,
is to talk about these issues going on right now.
yeah. Go ahead, Kim.
oh, I was going to say that the public learns so much through the entertainment too. So to spread
Mm,
an awareness and conscious raise, we need music and arts and all. I
yes,
mean, that's one of
yes.
the best medium to do that.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
so those people that are telling you that it can't be in the entertainment field,
Yeah,
they're very disconnected to how we learn. So,
exactly. And that was, you know, one of the things when I thought about how do we share these stories, like for the organization, like how are we going to get these stories across to people artistically? You know, I understand people's attention spans. I understand that, you know, the way you deliver a message is going to be, it's going to impact, different groups of people differently. And so for me, the entertainment part of it, I thought about that and I felt like, you want to give them this sense that they are being entertained. They're coming to the show, but really what we're doing is we're bringing something to their awareness. We're telling these stories, we're teaching them something. There's this other part, that's this other layer of stuff going on that they didn't realize until it's all done.
Yeah.
They're educating. Yes. Thank you, Marissa. Yeah, we're educating, and that's what it is. It's education and awareness through through the entertaining as well. So have you ever used any of your music in a film production of any kind before?
There was one time in the past, though it ended up not being that much of a great experience. I sung a song and helped write a song for a local film project. It was going to be international. I don't know what happened to it since I wasn't notified. But I sung a song with Gene Gizzy, and I met him through the Boys and Girls Club of America, which I sang for. I sang for their public fundraising event before. I love doing the charity events with them. And there was a movie. It was for raising awareness about women and their children and having to give them up for adoption, and the emotions and things that you feel through what it's like to have to give up your child, or going through a hard time in an abusive household and then being pregnant and not knowing what to do with the child. Should I keep it? Should I get rid of it? I don't want to lose this child, and the feelings that I went through. And that was the first time, though, after I kind of had a bad experience with the people that worked there, and I wasn't notified. I didn't get any contracts to sign. My voice was used. I never heard anything about it. But I've always sung. I've sung my songs in public before, only a few times at concerts and events around Florida. I usually do, again, what I mostly do is a lot of charity work with my just singing karaoke and other things like that. But
Wonderful.
this is my first time being in a professional, official film.
Thank you. Well, we're so happy that you agreed to to let us use that piece, and we want to continue to work with you.
Yes.
Because it's important for us to the voices that really need to be elevated here are the ones that come from the survivors, that come from people that have these experiences that we're actually sharing in our work. And our hopes is that for those that if they're not wanting to stay anonymous, if they're open with their names being shared, that something more will come out of that for them. If it's beyond just I know that my story helped someone, I know that my voice helped to empower others. That's our whole goal with all of this. So at the end of the day, when this project is over, when the film is we would love to be able to, have it go as wide and far as possible. But we really want it to be something to where people could understand what the campaign of languages of abuse is really all about. So you get to see the entertainment part, which is the script, but you also get to see the behind the scenes interviews and accounts, from people like yourself, from people that you're acting in it, and all of the work that goes in to running the organization and putting on productions like this. So it really has a lot of different parts to it that are important for our future. This is actually one of the biggest projects we've ever done, right, Kim?
Yes. And we were doing big projects.
Yeah, right.
We had some pretty big projects.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to be able to work with you guys too. I remember seeing one of the performances there before when I was much younger. I was invited by a friend who was in the theater group at the time. I think they were doing the ticket booth. And I was invited out to come in and see one of your performances. And I remember just feeling so, even though it was a standard performance, I remember feeling so and captured in the musical. I love watching musicals. I love seeing playing performances and feeling the way that it feels and being there. It's a different experience than a movie.
It
when
is.
You're with these people and you see them and there's a
Yes.
connection there and you get to interact
Yes.
and there's like this livelihood and energy with any performance, like concerts and things. It's a completely different thing to
It is.
there
It
and to feel
is.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say
Well,
I have an addiction to performing live.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know you saw a previous event, so that's
I
pretty
did
awesome.
before.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we won't be doing this as a film again. We just, we just happen to be doing it because, COVID and everything. So we looked at it as an opportunity. But every time we do it, which we want to do it for, our plan is to do a languages of abuse once a year. Every year it has a different theme. This year it happens to be transformations. And so we want to keep adding more stories. We want to keep adding more poetry, more music, and as we keep getting those pieces in, then, every year you'll see, and, you can come and see the production with some of the same pieces, but it can be delivered in a totally different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, a totally different feel to it. And then our wearable art show, the last one we did was Salvage. The same thing. We take those pieces and we project it onto the clothing, and and so that'll be our spring production there. So yeah, so lots of
this too. What I was thinking is for continuing this kind of event, this is also an amazing way to raise awareness of what you guys do, I think. And really showing the world the project that you do is an amazing place, hopefully bringing people from other sides of the world to see and to experience what we have here, I think it's a great reason to raise awareness for it too.
Definitely. So there's a lot of different things going on there. So I'm so glad that you see the vision, you understand that, and your commitment to being a part of this. So thank you again, and we look forward to continuing to work with you and supporting you in any way, in your own endeavors and your journey.
I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited to be part of this project because it's kind of everything I stand for and bringing awareness for things that people feel they don't have a voice to talk about or feel that it's okay to talk about, to give them a reason to come and to share their stories as well. It's an incredible thing that you guys are doing. And I
Definitely.
Really love it.
And you being here today too helps that, for people to sort of be able to see, the behind the scenes, the contributors and what that means to you all. That's an important part as well. So Kim, do you have anything you want to say to Anik before we let her go?
I just adore her. I don't know. It's so quick. I mean, it's just we talked on the phone that time, and I was like, I already appreciated her, and then I'm just excited to work with you. I'm really happy.
Definitely.
Would you like me to perform the song live here real quick?
Yes. I had totally forgotten. Yes,
good. I'm so happy.
All right, guys, here we go. Anik will be performing for us. I'll give you the screen.
Okay. 1 second. Testing. Let's see. Emotions can cover up the pain. Silence and sufferings to agony. I can my hands, my numb used to like just like in blue. Black and blue.
Doctors say it's an easy fix. They got blessed to just wish that I get from my face. Oh, it burns. Oh, maybe I'm just complicating. Maybe I feel pretty when I'm with your back and white, giving me black and blue. Black that's like a memory, just want to forget. No, one day when I'm gone and over the pain, then and just like leaves the laughing winter, trying to be back again. But it just takes time to heal from your back and blue, and your back and blue. Oh, in the black and blue, black and white, in the black oh, yes, I know I'm better than this. I know my heart is worth and the baby get nothing but regrets. I wish I could see that I need time to get from your black and blue. Your black and black and blue. Oh, yes, I will. I'm better than this. 'Cause I know my heart is like my band of pain. Get nothing but regrets. I wish I could have seen that I need time to heal for back again.
Girl.
I had to dance. I had to take my hat off.
Woo!
I'm sorry if
That-
I'm messy. I'm so nervous right now.
Oh my, really? Beautiful, girl. Beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing that with us. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the song from the soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
so clear and so pretty. Oh my.
Yeah. You should be very proud, Anique, and do everything to protect your voice.
Yes, of course. I gotta keep it safe.
Yes, so that you can tell the stories that you want to tell. Your voice is powerful, and not just in just singing the song, but in the stories that you're telling. Your story, other people's stories, whatever it is. So that is so important. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. It means so much to me. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
be well. We'll talk soon. Bye.
Have an amazing day. Bye.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. I wasn't expecting that.
It's like I gotta move. I gotta move.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I didn't think about the fact that, we would have to sit here for all these hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad she wanted to perform,
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, that was awesome to have her voice. I think, so far since we've been on at 10, I think that the audience has had an opportunity to really hear, what the project is about and how it was birthed, and then, got to meet some of the board members and then some of the people behind the project. And maybe we could talk a little bit, Kim, about, the future and where we're going, because I think, when people donate and support an organization, they want to know, like, what's going to be going on in the future, not just this one-off project or a couple of projects, but really, like, what's at the heart of what we're doing, moving forward and what we see. So what do you see for the organization moving forward?
Well, continuing with our mission to give voice to those that are hurt in in relationships of inequality. Abuse is an inequality relationship. Those that are battered, verbally ghostlighted in all kinds of ways, and that we continue to gather their submissions and continue to have projects to help people get their story submitted as well, and then to put the submissions into art forms for the public to for both to validate the voice so it's more widely heard, and
Yeah.
hope to affect change, inspire ideas of what is needed for change, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
all of that. So
Yeah. It's we have to be careful for us. We realize that we've got these voices, these stories that have been given to us, and we want to be always honoring
yeah,
them in their most authentic
right,
way. um and then we also have to keep like this balance too of who our audiences, who our donors are, the people that are going to partner with us. One of the discussions that we've had has been, when someone has sent in a piece that has had maybe just some profanity in it,
mhm,
or just really just raw emotions that, um, you know, it's more than just profanity, but just really being honest about if they've experienced sexual assault or sexual abuse or something like that. We want to share that, you
right.
know? And then so trying to figure out how do we do that without offending?
No, I think we can share it. I think there's it's just maybe certain venues we might have to prepare our audience or ask the survivor, but overall, I think most of the time we can take all stories in any form, in any way. I
Yes,
believe,
yes,
you know,
yes, yes,
so,
yeah. I want us to do that.
and I want our sponsors to know that we do that, that we take all stories, and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Kim, let's talk too about, a little bit of a shift that we're also going to be making in 2021 as far as the voices that we've expanded. We expanded the voices to include men, LGBTQ community who had experienced abuse. And we did that back in 2019 when we changed the name.
right,
Now we're expanding the voices, not changing the name, but we're expanding the voices to include all different sorts of violence.
right. That such as police brutality and things like that, and so because we're giving voices, we're still doing all our other voices. So we might do a campaign mainly based on women survivors of domestic abuse or trans, and we can combine them, but we're taking all
Yeah,
voices of social issue abuse, and
yeah,
um,
yeah,
because there's a relationship. We're all one big human family, and the analogy between the abuse that might happen, like say you're a victim of a hate crime, say you got beat up because you were gay,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
all
mm-hmm.
related to a dysfunctional family that's not in a partnership of valuing everybody equally mattering. And that's what happens in a domestic abusive situation. Um, one person thinks that they have to be higher, and any move to become equal is a threat, and
Yeah.
so to get the other person down, and that's usually, I mean, I tend to see that as the relationship in domestic abuse, you know, but
Yeah.
that can be
Yeah.
any kind of.
Well, and I'm looking at it too when we talk about violence. You know me, I'm very much a bit of a radical when it comes to social issues, and I see, violence against people, by, the government, like you said, the police, um, and not, not always in this brutal physical form, but in the way that people are censored and by marginalization and by oppression.
Right.
That is a way to stifle people's voices. And so, for us, if we want to give voice, we have to include all of the voices. And I think, we're seeing it now more than ever that that's a problem right now. I mean, we know the political climate. That's one thing, and we're not a political organization. It's not. We're about society. We're about our community. Um, and so, are we going to be able to lift up those voices of people who are saying, I went through, um, you know,
The breakdowns of friendships too that are
oh
happening,
my gosh, yeah,
you know,
all those types of things.
because and the analogy of the domestic abusive situation, the usually one partner is trying to be equal with the other partner and is trying to reach out and say, I'm having problem not being heard, or I'm having this problem, and then the other spouse is all like, you're making it, there's no problem, there's no problem.
Yeah, exactly. What you think you see, you don't see.
I'm happy, what are you talking
Talking
about?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It's not like what you're hearing now that, oh, there's no systemic racism.
right,
No,
right,
not here.
so
Yeah, it's funny because you're right there. They are connected. They're parallel in a lot of ways in how um, abusive behavior is enacted, right? And depending on who it's coming from or where it's coming from, we won't see it that way.
right,
Institutionally or from the government, or even religion, right? We won't see it that way because of where it's coming from. And so that's why, having a platform and a space for people to be able to say, hey, you know, this is my experience. This
right,
is what I've gone through,
right,
and this is very much true because
right,
it's happened to me.
right, right.
Yeah.
And what I like a lot about our organization is there's a lot of partnership. We partner with the
Yeah.
stories that are coming in, the survivors. We make teams and things.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of abuse or inequality is because there's not enough cooperative teamwork partnership training growing up. It's all about competition or scarcity. A move towards equality means you're going to have power over me. You're not going to be, because there not enough metaphors and experiences of teamwork, and that we're equal partners, and
Yeah.
that we
We're
are
in this together.
we're in this
Yeah,
together. And our organization, we make teams every time we do a event. There's a lot of partnership stuff going on, a lot of
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Even just having someone's survivor story, we have to make sure we're true to that survivor so they don't feel like, their story, that's not their story, or they feel like it was, they feel upset. If I tell a story, I don't want someone changing my story.
Right. Exactly.
it has to be something that is, there has to be like a partnership, like, okay, how do we make it universal? So let's,
Mm-hmm.
anonymity. So I might have another person interpret it a little bit different,
Yeah.
but I'm still trying to stay true to you and honor you. And does this feel right to you? And so we
Yeah.
want to make sure our survivors do feel honored and that their stories weren't made into something else,
Yeah.
like that's my story amplified. You
Yes.
amplified it. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
I think,
Yeah.
I think what's been very special about this organization has been very successful at amplifying. And that's why I got all excited, was it amplified. It was somebody's unique story, but it wasn't. It was a universal
Right.
experience because
Yeah.
um, in all sorts of areas, there's been bullies in our culture and different kind workplace
Yeah.
bullies, and everybody has some experience they should be able to relate to, unless they're in complete denial.
Niall. Yeah. Exactly. Yes. And that's what I was thinking about. I thought about, the different voices of how people have experienced, abuse, violence, everything from, the workplace
Mhm.
to, institutions,
Mhm.
to, within your own home,
Home.
your own social circle. And like Dano was saying, when you sort of hear those words, when you hear what that sounds like, you can identify it. And
Right.
there's something within us that we all know. When someone speaks something, it triggers something inside of us that we know that was something to silence us, that was something to intimidate us, that was something to put fear in us. We know it. We can, we feel that. But I feel like when you tell the stories, there's this even deeper connection, because there's something so familiar. Like for me, before I even wrote my book, before I thought about this organization, I didn't realize that I was a victim of abuse. It took me a while to even say it, to claim it, to admit it, until I was in a circle with other people that were sharing the same story like mine. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. And this is what this is? Okay. And that brought me on this journey of understanding that. And then when I came to that realization and I could accept that, then I had to start the work of self-reflecting and understanding, okay, so why did this happen? Like, because this isn't new. This type of relationship that happened to be a marriage wasn't new, right? So I was able to look back at the patterns in my life and do the work to figure out, what could have put me on this course of choices that I made. But going back to what you were saying about partnership, that is so important. We cannot do anything without partners. So even if we have the story, we cannot get it out to the world unless we have people that are willing to say, we're going to allow you to use our space so you can tell these stories. Think about the volunteers too that come on and say, I want to help you bring this to life. Everyone that's working on this project right now are volunteers.
Right.
No one's paid.
Right.
And so that is so important, because the people capital right now it's the only way. It's the only way we can get out there. So those partnerships at that level with our volunteers, I feel like is like the most important thing.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make it happen.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Partners, every single area. It's a partnership, and I just I'm just so grateful. So
Yeah.
glad, and it's exciting. I'm glad to be a volunteer. I'm glad to have other people be volunteers with me. I'm glad. I'm just so, and when the teams, when there's teamwork and connection and everything is going right. Now, of course, there's times where there's struggle, but that's true of every relationship.
Every
relationship.
Yeah.
I just I just feel like that in itself is also part of the healing journey, because we're also putting more models of how things can be
Yeah.
teamwork and things like that.
Yeah. Collaboration, cooperation.
Yeah.
And going back to this conversation we were having earlier about, when people who are in the bullying position and role, in that abusive role, they're really more of an individualist, right? They think about themselves. It's about them.
Right.
But more and more, I feel like, we need to have more of a collective vision,
Right.
for our communities and for the work we do.
Right.
And when we do that and we bring people in, magic happens.
Yes.
So yeah, change happens.
Yes.
It's true. My favorite quote is, be the change you want to see in the world. Well, okay, that starts with me, and that starts with you, and then we got, Milton, and we got Kelly, and we got friends, and we bring people in,
Mm-hmm.
and we all are doing this change thing together because we all have the same vision for what we want. But as we're getting to the top of the hour here, all this whole thing is about raising money.
Yes.
And as much as volunteers are so valuable and the partnerships are valuable, at the end of the day, organizations cannot function without funding.
Right. We organization. We need to get the money so that we can do our work. So we can get this film out, for example, or create it. I mean, that's just one of the things, but that's what we're using all the money for right now. But we need. This is an awesome play. I want to say it's an awesome event.
Yeah.
Film, and and it can reach more people as a film as well. So that's what's exciting, because normally, you have to be there live, and we sell tickets, and that's the way we fundraise. But this is different. We need to fundraise beforehand just to get it launched, and then we need to
after it's done.
And then we need to fundraise after it's done so that we can continue to have stay alive. Just so that we have to pay for, when we're streaming things, we got to pay for our website. We've got to pay for various places that we're repository or our cell phones, so we can, we're paying for our own cell phones, but
we're growing, and because of the projects that we're doing and everything that we have planned, we do need to add more people and paid staff. It's really, people want to volunteer, but obviously people's times are very limited. Things for people are tough right now, and someone would rather maybe take a part-time job than to be volunteering part-time, if because they can't afford it. We want to be able to employ a couple part-time people. We want to be able to sort of pay it forward, in that it could even be survivors, people that have been contributors with their stories, to bring them on in that way. Two of the biggest things that we need, like as far as positions that we're going to be trying to add next year, is that, my position has been unpaid as a CEO, and we would, we definitely want to have that funded. And then we want to have the position of a grant person, someone dedicated specifically to grants and fundraising, even if that's at a part-time basis. and then a marketing person. Those are the key things right there. Because the more that we're doing, the more time it takes.
Right.
And we're working on a strategic plan right now. It should be done here by the end of the month. This is going to lay it out for us over the next 3 years about the growth for our organization, and it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, we love this work, but it's a lot.
Yeah, and it's exciting, and I don't know any organization that is doing that. Is somebody calling in? I heard some clicking. So, but I mean, there's a lot of organizations helping survivors of abuse or telling stories, but we're doing it in a very unique way. I mean,
yes,
I've never heard, I didn't even understand it first until I went to the event of what we're doing, that to take a person's story and to elevate it by also getting involved in finding artists and performers and other people to connect with the story or the survivor who did it. Yeah, that's something I've never heard of before anyway.
Yeah.
You know any organizations that's doing that?
I mean, I don't know organizations off the top of my head, but I know that there are people who like do their work on their own. Like I know there's been something with the Pulse nightclub. Like they've really, what they've done over there has been amazing with the people that perished, in that shooting incident, and created a foundation around it, and been able to share the story of these people so you know who they are. And they've done it, through artistic and creative expression. So they've done it in that way. But ours is a little bit more broad in that we want to, not just survivors, but we're talking about, people now that are going through violence, trauma, and, all those different types of experiences, to be able to share their stories, because that's the only way people will know, what is happening, is through the stories. You know how I feel about stories. So I feel, stories are the thing that's gonna connect us. But for us, we're always looking at all of these different ways that we can tell it. So it's not just gonna be Languages of Abuse campaign. That's one way, right? That's our major campaign. It's not just gonna be the Wearable Art Show. That's one way, and that's a major campaign. But it can also be through our next project I want to do is a photography project, and I think that will be powerful to actually have them, take pictures of images, and put a collage together and tell their stories. And just have people come in, view them, and even have some dialogue about what do you see, and get people's feedback about how they really see people in different experiences. So, so that's another one that I think that would be powerful. We've talked about doing a community mural in some way. So that's another one. And I love the film. I think we'll do another film project, but I don't know like what that's going to look like, if that's going to be an inside script that we will create ourselves, or what it will be. But
I like the idea of the photography. That one's a new one. We could do it in a book and publish it and sell it on Amazon too, where people can see all the photos of work, like a photo book.
So it's not just about we're just telling the stories for you to feel like pity or sorry for victims. No, it's really about you seeing, yes, the cause and effect, but mostly, who they've now become, who they are now, how they were able to overcome that situation, and how telling their story and sharing their story in this different way, how that's helped that. So, if you want to be a part of helping these stories be told, if you want to be a part of an organization that's really, creating the safe space for the stories to be told, if you want to be a part of a movement
Yes.
that lifts voices, that amplifies voices of all sorts of trauma and violence and abuse, this is we invite you to join us.
And it's the post-event story, so it's not just this traumatic event happened. It is after the event.
Yes.
The insults to injury time and and the healing time. So it's really
yes.
I mean, it's a lot of stories that we need to know and hear in order to solve the problems and to improve our society as well.
Yeah. And hear those voices here, like listening to Anik sing and listening to her song, that you can hear her strength even as she's expressing some pain. Right? So, bringing you through that, taking you on that journey as well, it opens up, a lot. So, we're at the top of the hour. I don't know about you, Kim. I don't know if you can do another hour.
You're not going to leave me by myself, are you?
No, not at all. I'm hungry though.
I'm hungry too.
And I'm like, okay, we've got about 5 people watching. I haven't seen the tally, but I know we haven't reached our goal. Our goal is $1,500.
Okay, that's not bad, folks. Come on.
That is not even the full budget of what we need.
That's
So
I'll try to share it some more on Facebook.
And not only that, it's who do you know? Like, who do you know? Do you have an uncle, a rich uncle? Do you have grandparents? Who do you know that would get behind a project like this and would be willing to say, you know what, I'll I'll be a sponsor for the event, and put their name in the credits at the end of the film. Everybody gets that when you donate to this film specifically. But if anybody that wants to just support what we're doing for these voices to be heard, let them know. Have them come watch the recording of this, share this, let them know we're on. Send them to our website, givingvoicesproject.org. They can go there and see all of the work that we're doing. We have on the page for the Languages of Abuse film, we do have the film charter. And Kim created this, right? Kim, we had 2, but we made one specifically for donors that really outlined the history of the project, the objective of this project, how much money we need, what do we need it for, all that type of stuff. But if there's anything else you have questions about, definitely reach out to us and let us know. I'm happy to have a conversation with you about that, and so we can keep it moving.
Yeah. Do you think we could try to troubleshoot that video clip and see if we can get the sound, or you don't think so? It's too hard?
I mean, we can. The thing is so weird about StreamYard. I've tried to share something before and people said they couldn't hear it. So, I mean, I could try one more time. And so what I'll do is I'll put it up, and then if you want to text me and just say, you know what, it's not working.
Okay, I'll tell you right away. Oh, text you and not put it.
Yeah, if you can't hear it. So let me
Yeah,
see if I can pull it up.
try a new way.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
maybe is there a way to unplug something, or I don't know.
You know, and they have the option for the share screen, but I'll look and see if there's something else. So I'm gonna
Okay. Or
I'll,
you
I'll I'm gonna do this and give myself the entire screen.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's very quiet, so can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah, the sound isn't working.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you. Yeah, the sound's not working.
You can't hear it?
No.
Oh, what a shame. I'm
No.
gonna figure that out because um yeah, because we have the share screen option and that should be able to work.
Mhm.
And I wanted to be able to share that with the audience. But if you're looking, if you do want to see clips of the previous languages of abuse, you can go to our YouTube channel.
Right.
Now, interestingly, we have two. We have the first one, which was the Forgotten Women's Project, which was
Right.
our first thing, right? And for some reason, we can't get into it. So we have been unable to, but we've got to work on that. We've got to try to figure out how we can, how we can do that and then pull some of those videos. But there's some videos on there. And then some of our most recent, I would say in the last year or two, on Giving Voices Project on YouTube. What we try to do is every time we do an event, we would like to stream it live from Facebook and YouTube simultaneously.
Mhm.
But when we have those in-person events, in the past, we've just had to record it and chop it up and put it here. And that's what we were hoping we could have done with Transformations. We wanted to live stream the performance for you all,
Yeah.
but COVID.
Yeah. And so with the live streaming or with the Zoom or whatever we were trying to use, it doesn't do the sound for music as well as it does.
Yeah.
So, although Anik's song was really, really, really great, but it's just that this platform isn't as optimal as
Yeah.
film will be,
Yes, definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
but
Yeah.
it's still nice to have somebody come in live. I wish I could play the guitar.
Just so much talent and Voices Against Violence. So that was something we live streamed last week Friday. We did it here on StreamYard as well. So the recording is on our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel.
Mhm.
But that was about a 45-minute show of like an open mic sort of concept where we had performers come in and do, spoken word and song. I mean, even that, it was just
It was amazing,
wow.
And, Philippa's song at the end.
She closed us out in just such a beautiful way. She sang, Brittany sang. Oh, and then Lady Rebel. So Lady Rebel. Okay, so Lady Rebel has been with this organization from the beginning, from our first Languages of Abuse. She performed live. She has this entire playlist of music about surviving abuse. And, and every time we want to use her music, she's like, sure, go ahead. She came on even and did, a performance for us. And we've just been really blessed to have
Talented.
people that are willing to say, you can use my voice, to help others. So that's why I'm really excited about the film, because as nervous as everyone is, right? This is like almost like an experiment for us.
Yes. Yeah. But it's exciting too, like that we can do this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like something all of us on our own didn't really think about. Oh, we can make a film, and here we are doing it, and you know, and I get, and I guess we get used to it because we've done other productions. Like, oh, we can make a production, or
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Um, we've never been afraid
mm-mm.
to try something new, and a lot of the things have been my brainchild, right? So when I come to the board and I'm like, hey, so I got this idea. So I'm
let's
really lucky you guys are like, hey, yeah.
let's figure it out. Let's make it happen.
Uh, we want to have an environment like that where everyone at the table
Mhm.
could come with the ideas, and we want it to be innovative, and we want it to be different, in how we tell it, you know. Uh, so that's what will sort of differentiate us and what we do from other organizations. Because when you think about other organizations, when they deal with people that have gone through a trauma or violence or anything like that, it's like direct services,
Uh-huh.
right? There's like this direct service that you're giving to people. And you know, I think ours is impact,
Mm.
sort of. It's I wouldn't say it's not direct services, but it's
Once
in
in a while.
once in a while, yeah. But most of the work is really, on this larger scale of,
Doing something with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and that's why I was telling Milton at the beginning, for us, we um we really have to get more comfortable with measuring that impact,
Right. Right.
and quantifying it, and putting that in a way that can, be useful to our benefit as we're applying for grants, and asking, for donors, so that people want to see the numbers.
Right. And I mean, we don't really want to be here asking and begging for money, but we need it, and we need, in order to make the impact that we're making, in order to put on our events, and this organization provides so much value in raising awareness and consciousness raising and healing for the survivors. It even adds another layer of healing to get and to be so heard at such a grand scale. One, they're just getting really heard. It's like, wow, it's
Yeah.
and even persons who doesn't, it's not their story specific, but somebody told a story that is so much like their own story, they feel like their story is told. That person singing my song, that person, even
Yeah.
if I didn't write it, I could have wrote it. And
Yeah. Yeah. You're telling my story. You're
Yeah.
speaking to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because I was so alone, or I didn't know what to do, or it unalienates people, and it restores and heals and reconnects, and brings us to a next level of a better world for everybody.
Yeah. I didn't realize, for me, I didn't realize how much, sharing my story through my book was going to really, like, empower me. I had been journaling, and the journaling was, that was a part of my healing process. And then when it was time to write the book, right? So it was like half of the work was done because the journal was there and I could go back to it. But it was really scary to go back there now to write it out and to tell it, right? To share it with people, because I was dealing with some of the shame around it. There was, I just wasn't, I didn't want people to see that much of my story. And that sort of goes to, you know, when we are a victim of something, there's a part of that that we want to stay in, you know, that's more of you know, being cared for, and you know, it's safe, it's comfortable. But when you now have to step out of that and walk away from, like, you know, the stages are going from, you know, survivor to thriver, right? When now you're stepping out of that and you're leaving victimhood behind, that's scary. And so that process of now taking your story and now sharing it in this empowering way, it has a different feel to it. And so I know that every time we have someone that agrees to share their story with us, I know that they have gone through these different phases and these different steps, you know, of being ready to now say, I'm moving from being this victim. Yeah, this story tells of that you know, that happened, but that's not who I am today, you know.
Yeah, I guess I would word it a little bit different, because when you don't really think about, oh, I'm comfortable being a victim. I think that maybe the person was able to put it in a box over here a little bit. So they don't know they're still vulnerable to being triggered all the time. Or sometimes they know they're going to be vulnerable to triggered. So they don't want to go there because they have it in that box. But they're comfortable that they got it over there, and they're afraid that they're going to be triggered, and they're afraid they're going to get stuck to where they were. It took so long to finally box it up. And so I think there's this, but if they don't unbox it, they're going to get triggered by various things, and they can be right back to where they were because they're keeping afraid to be triggered, that they don't go around to do the work that makes them immune to.
So you don't think though that there is some
I don't know
level in you know, being in victimhood?
Maybe some people like that, like being the victim, and they want to just blame the outside world and be victim. But I think some people, they don't like being the victim so much that they have so much shame about being the victim or whatever. They put it in a box and they're trying to carry on like it didn't
That's
really
true.
have that impact on me. It doesn't have that impact on me. But things happen that crumbles that facade that they aren't realizing is a facade. And
Wearing this mask, walking around wearing this mask of,
and then they got to keep trying to be tough to stop it, and life won't let them. It won't let you anyway, so you might as well.
Well, yeah, you gotta you have to face, we have to face ourselves. We do. Yeah, we have to face ourselves. But everybody's, and that's one thing that I've learned and I do respect, is everybody's, like, our experiences might be similar, but our journeys and the way we experience it, that, you know, individually is different. That healing process is going to be different. So similarities, yes, but differences, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everybody has different resiliencies.
Yes.
Different community of support, and different timing of when they're ready. So but it's still very empowering for them to be a little bit near it, so that they can vicariously get empowered enough so they can build their community enough so that they can share it or do it. Do.
And I love, you know, every time I talk to someone that's gone through something that's been, you know, traumatic, and they're like, I want to do something with this.
Yeah.
You know, like you were saying, like how they would go ahead and put it in a box. Well, they go take it off this box. They go take the box down, open it up, and they're like, I want to do something with this. You know?
Right. Because they've got a consciousness that if this happened to me, it can happen to another person, even if I think I'm the only one.
Yeah.
And then they find out that they weren't the only one, and then they can experience a connection with others, or they can experience that human nature is to empathize, and so they're sharing that empathy brings more healing and wisdom and growth to humanity. So it's all important. So
Yeah. And you know, we talked a lot about, you know, the empathy part of this, and sharing the stories, and how we feel like it's, you know, it's something that we really want to have created. We want to create with the audience, is we want them to have, you know, some empathy, but from seeing
right,
these and hearing these stories. You
right.
know?
We don't want them to feel like we just made them into the victim and they're assault.
Right.
So
Right.
we're going to assault anybody, but
Right.
or that they're just like a bystander forced to not intervene. You know, we don't want to give that sense to them. It's just like they're getting they're just, there's a balance that is. We've been very lucky to have gifted people be able to attain that balance. And I don't know if it's the premise that you have in the first place that makes it happen. I'm not exactly sure, but I know I've seen movies where I'm upset, where I'm forced to kind of like partake in something abusive because I can't intervene, and I'm like forced to watch it. And then other times I feel like now I'm forced to be the victim of it. And, you know, and then,
Yeah.
but with the Giving Voices project, it's not like that. It's like I can connect to your story. I can heal. I can learn and grow from you. I can heal with you, and I can feel empowered that we're going to find ways to make it better, and we're in the future, and for more people. And
Always.
you know, so it's like this is being addressed. It's not the elephant in the room or the, you know, dust swept under the carpet. It is like truly being cleaned out and taken care of. And it's just something so thrilling and positive in experiencing that. It's not like, here's the monster, you're stuck. It's like, let's see it transform. Let's see the growth. Let's, you know.
Yeah, I think, and Kelly's doing a good job
Yes,
with script in that.
she's very good at also having to figure it out on a quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and work with it if it's not.
Yeah.
Something's missing.
Yeah. She, you know, even though we're bringing in that, you know, showing the abusive husband, it's not, that's not like a big part of it. There's nothing in that that's gonna, you know, be, you know, too triggering. You'll come out of that, you know, quickly enough.
You come out, you get there, but you come out. It's like not fully. It's not like things are all. Of course, you can't just everything's automatically resolved, but you feel like in the world that people are paying attention to this issue and working on it.
Yeah.
And when things aren't talked about, it's like no one's paying attention to the issue. And when people aren't, and especially if they're saying you can't talk about that.
Yes.
Like, you know, you don't have a right to it, even if it's your own self. I've talked to women who are their own bullies. You know, they've been hurt and stuff, and then they bully themselves, and not
self-abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel they have the right.
Yeah. So
they see people have the right, they go like, I have the right.
You do.
I can do it.
Yeah. So I think too, when, you know, and talking about, you know, Kelly and being able to work with, you know, this is our second time working with her. And we want to be able to have those kinds of partnerships with other professionals in the community. Not every time that we do languages of abuse does it have to have an overarching story, because she created an overarching story to entwine all the other stories that were submitted to us. There's different ways that we can do it, and so we're open to hearing from other, creatives out there
Right.
that could, come to us with a vision and how we can tell these stories in through the theatrical production. And then in the wearable arts, even, I feel like we're looking for an artistic director for that. Um, but what we like to do, and what we're continuing to do, right? We're improving on the process of having these projects and bringing a team in. Is we have the parameters in which it has to work. That's in line with the vision, and and the stories and all of that, and then giving the artistic person enough autonomy to create within those parameters to be able to deliver.
Right.
you
Right.
know
And it's just so amazing how, is it luck or how talented the community is? I don't know. It's just like, it's been so amazing. All the projects, there was talent. Like I guess I saw the first one, and at the art.
the Flagler Arts Museum, I think,
Yes.
gallery.
Yeah, and it was like it was a combination of a variety show, educational forum,
Yeah.
discussion, and it was wonderful. And
Yeah.
and the theatrical events, they're just
And then the next one that we did in an actual theater was John Spadone.
uh-huh.
We had a man directing it, and I don't know why I felt like a man couldn't direct it, but he brought something to it that was just like, whoa, like really in your face. That after that one, there was a lot of people coming back saying that it really, really influenced and impacted them. But it was through that as well that we also could see what else can be done
Right.
with the productions,
Right.
and so every time we've done it, it's just, even if we have some of the same stories and we're using some of the same, like some of the poetry pieces that we've used from the very beginning, you will see, if you've seen this other times, you're going to see something totally different.
Right.
Every time.
And as for collaborations, I just wanted to say, I like how you also we not you, all of us.
Yes.
Initiated the collaborations with Stetson University when they did they got the textile students doing the art, and they made a film, and then they also let us use their theater, the Hands Theater.
Yes.
And
yes.
Daytona State, when the project management department helping us do the panel discussion for Expressions of Hope, and UCF students also helping promote and having a ambassador program there.
Yes, yeah.
I love all the collaborations.
Yeah.
We also had a realtor, Barb Gertman, helping us with spaces to rehearsals. It's just been a blessing.
It has.
To have people just share their gifts, talk about somebody they know that has a gift, bring somebody with a gift in, and
it's so funny you said that, because it has been with those partnerships with the universities that have been, that's really made a difference for us in some of the other projects other than Languages of Abuse. But Stetson University with the wearable arts, number one, and then with the after abuse film.
Right.
Yeah. So those types of partnerships are important. Working with UCF, and they have the nonprofit management program as well, and so we've we've worked with them and having students, helping us with our strategic planning also. Yeah, so it's been through a lot of those, and we want to continue those types of relationships.
And those students get real life experience working with a company and helping that company
Yeah,
get known.
yeah, yeah.
And some of them have been on our board before.
Yes. We had a college campus group. Yeah.
We do have term limits, so
Yeah.
always look forward on the president this year, but next year will be another.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about that, Kim. If anyone wants to join our board, like you say, you've been on the board for several years, and this is your second term as president, which is a little unusual.
Yeah.
But
one term. So
yeah, but you've done a really great job at helping to take charge with a lot of things, and but right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 people on the board, but 4 of them are voting members. And so we are looking for anywhere between 1 to 3 more members if we can. Yeah. We definitely need 1 more because we with the voting members we want to have an odd number, but we do have a founding member of the board who doesn't come to the meetings, but they're just there to vote if we need a tie break or something. But most of the time, everybody's on one accord.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we're pretty easy. But yeah, and then president, secretary, and treasurer. Be nice to have a vice president. That sort of thing. But I think the biggest thing, because as we approach people and we ask them to join us, everyone's concerned about the time. And because we don't have paid staff, the board has to chip in and do some of those things that might be a little bit more than usual until we can get to that point. So we want people who have different expertise in the areas of finances, marketing, public relations, writing, research, those types of things.
Crowdsourcing.
Yes. I mean, because the number one thing is, creating those funds. Once we create those funds and we're able to sustain the organization, sustain staffing to do those things, then the board could really focus on, of course, their fiduciary responsibility, but also other things to help the organization grow and move forward.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody in that has ever been on the board. And I welcome anybody who has been on the board who wants to come back,
That's right.
That's right. Term limits, but you can your term limit is up. We're still
you can stay on. Yes.
So much. I mean, those early shows before I was on the board, when I was a secretary before, every board that this organization has ever had, I've been very impressed with. I've been impressed with everybody they come in with ideas. They come in,
willing to do the work to move the organization forward. Like I said, you don't come to sit on a board, you come to serve, right? Yeah. We're all here serving.
We need to have a very servant-oriented board. And and all boards need to spend time. I'm gonna sneeze. There we go. I pulled it.
You sucked it back in.
I sucked it back in somehow. The fundraising is always going to be, every organization I ever belonged to, with like theater, we've all had to help raise money for our plays or promote them, and that's the same with our board. And we come to meetings once a month. We have tasks that we do throughout the month, and then we report on those tasks. it's fun, and it's good.
It is fun actually because we're creative.
Yeah, we're creative. It's a diverse board. It's written in our bylaws I believe, or it's a goal of the organization to always try to have a diversity of people involved in this project. It's people who are survivors, people who are not survivors, people have certain gifts. It doesn't. It's just, and we do these events. So we do all kinds of things. So come join us.
Yes, it's representation of the community that we're serving. We want the board to reflect that. I think that that's important, so that we're able to tap into those all of those voices. So Kim, what I want to do real quickly is I want to acknowledge those that have donated so far. Let me see. So we have, and I know that some of the donations went in some on PayPal, but I'll tell you, we've got a couple through Cash App. We have Alice Barreto donated. Thank you so much, Alice. And we have Paula Ramirez also.
Thank you, Paula.
Yeah. Let me see. And then I think we had something come through PayPal as well. I'll double check that. But and then, for Voices Against Violence, we had what we called our golden ticket holders that purchased $25 tickets, and they got a free t-shirt. And I want to acknowledge those folks too. Let me see if I've got, let me see if this is it, because I did have a spreadsheet of all of those donors. I don't have it here in front of me, but we had quite a few people that were our golden ticket. I'm going to pull their names up because I do want to acknowledge them. I had to send out their t-shirts the other day. So I was,
Oh, that's right. I got my shirt.
Yes. We have Amy Kesey. She was one of our golden ticket owners, and she got a shirt. We have Lynette Daniel.
Nice.
Let's see. Yeah, we have Heather McCulloch.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
And we have Carlita Hughley.
Ooh, thank you, Carlita.
And Donna Gray Banks.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
And we have another person, Sandra. I cannot remember Sandra's last name, and I don't know why I can't find her here, but she was another one that also was a golden ticket holder. So thank you, ladies, all of you, for your donations, and Paula and Alice today. And even when this stream is down, please, you can go here, you can donate. We'll have all of the different links to where you can go, and once we will come back, we see if anyone has more than a $25 donation, we'll contact you. You can get either this shirt, right, or you can get this mug, your choice. And then we also have the hoodie, and the hoodie is for those of you that Kim is going to go get her hoodie. Those of you that have made a donation of $50 or more. The hoodie is from everything that Kim has told me, is very comfortable. We've got the fall is coming in. You can sort of feel that already here in Florida, and then winter, and so a hoodie would be perfect right about now. But we also have on our online store, if you go to our page, which I'm going to go ahead and pull that up and just share that with you guys. just so you can sort of see our website. So let me do that, because you don't need sound for that. And here we go. Okay, so here's our page, right? And this was the Spon-Sor-thon today. Our mission, our vision, our core values, support our cause right there. Join our mailing list so you know whenever we're doing events. Some interviews I've been on. But here over to Swag, you go to our online store and just click on catalog, and this will show you all of the different merch that we have. And this is the shirt here. Wait, no, is that it? I think that's it. Or is it the other one? Let me see. Let me see. Let me go to page 2. I love the cell phone cases. Unfortunately, there's none here for my size. I love the yoga shirt, which I'm definitely getting. And there is the hoodie. So that's where you're going to find that. Okay. Let me stop sharing and go back. Kim, there it is. Awesome. I love it. How's it feel? Is that soft material?
It's very soft. It's got
Right.
it's got that fuzzy inside.
Okay.
It's also good.
Oh, see, and I said with winter coming, the fall and the winter coming, that's gonna come in handy. So that's gonna be my next purchase, along with a tote bag.
It was cold last night and this morning.
Yes.
I was cold. Here in Florida, it's normally very warm at this time, and I was like, I need my hoodie. I need my hoodie.
Yeah, it's the weather is changing, so we gotta get prepared for that. So so you can go to givingvoicesproject.org. You can go to, I just shared my screen and took them to our online store so they can sort of see where to find it. And you know what else I'm going to show them too, Kim, since I'm there. We've got 15 minutes left. So what the heck?
What the heck?
What the heck? Let's show them the website. So that's the team, that's the board right here. So you'll find out more about the board members. And then here are all of the projects, our education and awareness projects. If you go to languages of abuse here, this is the transformations film. This is what this was all about today.
Yes.
You can make a donation, and down here you can click and you can download the film charter, where it will give you all the information and details about the film and how it will be used. When we first started this, we did say we had a goal of 10,000, but it is now 5,000. So we will change that, but we'll never turn down 10,000. So,
yes.
And then if you scroll down some more, these are just some images from the previous shows.
Yeah.
Of course. And then these are some of the other campaigns. This is our wearable art show. Some images from that. And then here's our calendar of events. So you can always see what's going on, what's next. We have our production and board meeting tomorrow. Now, we're supposed to be kicking off a fundraiser called 10-10-10. And I'm going to tell you what that's about. And then let me go here. And then if you would like to be a volunteer, this is where you can go. Become an artist and ambassador.
Come join us. Join us.
Come join us. Fill that out.
Yeah.
And that will get sent to us. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the 10-10-10. Yeah. So $10, 10 people over 10 days. So I think what we're going to do is, November 1st is tomorrow. We're just finishing this up. I think we need to wrap it up, maybe give it a couple of days as it's on social media, on YouTube, to see what other funds are generated. Okay. And then we will kick off our Fast and Furious campaign, the 10-10-10, over 10 days. We'll start that on November the 10th. We'll run that from like the 10th to the 20th. Okay. And then so our goal is 10 people in 10 days, $10 each.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for people, say they donate after this event that we're doing right now.
Mhm.
Are they still listed in our film as a sponsor?
Yes.
Yeah.
If
So-
you're donating to the film, yes.
Anytime you donate to the film, your name will be thanked. And
Yes.
you can watch our movie and say, there I am.
Yes, you will be a part of the credits at the end as a sponsoring contributor to the production. So that's why every little bit counts. You know, we have not reached our goal, but we are determined that we will eventually. And so we just continue to do this. So after this, like I said, we'll do the 10-10-10. We'd love for you guys to share that with your friends and family. Help us reach that goal together over those 10 days. The film goes into production on the 19th or 20th, right, Kim?
Filming production or what kind of production?
Yes, filming production.
We're going to film it after
Thanksgiving weekend.
Thanksgiving weekend, yes.
Gotcha. So, yeah.
That's when we do our run through, and we're just running through.
So we know we have that money by then. We will feel a whole lot more comfortable, moving forward.
Right.
So we'd love for you to help us get there. So there's our Cash App.
Yep.
There's our PayPal.
Help us get these stories out. Help you be part of our film. It's a lot of fun. We'll update you. You'll know what's going on, and
yes, you're part of the project now.
Yeah, you'll be part of the project. So, and tell your friends, and thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. So, this took a lot today. I've got a paper or two to write before Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, I'm losing weight.
I've got doing that, and then
fasting at the moment.
Yeah. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna eat a whole cow. And then we have our meeting,
bowls of eating and stuff.
We have our meetings tomorrow, our production meeting at 3:30. Then we have our board meeting at 5. Of course, election is Tuesday. There's a lot going on. So
there's I don't know, in Volusia County, there's a vote for the ECHO grant, and that helps a lot of organizations in the arts and and we want that ECHO grant to live. Who knows, maybe our project might need the ECHO grant. So,
okay.
County, please don't let the ECHO grant die.
So what is the ECHO grant?
It's it's here in Volusia County, but it goes to theaters, it goes to parks, it goes to recreation, it goes to science, it goes to a lot of different things. It's grant money, I guess, by the county, and a lot of it helps all these organizations be there for the public to come to, and it offsets the cost because it's expensive to do these things.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt.
So I think that's important. And of course, please vote. Vote.
Yes.
A lot at stake right now. And especially when we give voice, it's very important. So
I thought about that too. I thought about the responsibility we have as an organization to vote in a way that's, again, not just self-centered for us,
right,
but about our community that we serve.
That's right.
You cannot serve a community but then do a civic duty by voting against anything to help them.
Right. And it's up about Supreme Court justices. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things on the ballot. There's a million reasons why it's important to vote.
Just then, our voices, they're on the ballot.
Yes. So voting is, if you can vote, can't vote, well, we're trying to help it make it so that
we can't tell you how to vote either. We ain't doing that. We're just saying. We're just saying. So, but yeah, that's an important part. We have a responsibility as an organization that, if we're fighting for voices to be heard, it's in our interest to, on a personal level in our own lives to be doing the work within our communities to making sure those voices are protected and they're elevated in other ways. So the work just doesn't stop when we're together as a board and when we're working on our projects.
Right.
It's always going on in our lives. It should reflect, I think, being a part of an organization, it should really be a reflection of who you are as a person, right? It's like, I'm a part of this because this is a part of me, and this is what I believe in. This is my values. These are the things that are important to me. And it's one thing to join something because you're creative and you want to create art and or you think it's a great cause, but but it needs to be more than that. There needs to be this deeper connection to understanding the work that you're doing and you're contributing to. It's not just in this one project this time. It's more than that. And so that's what I would hope for, those types of you know partnerships and that sort of understanding with those partnerships and how this work happens.
Yeah. I agree. I think what's really nice is that when you're contributing to this organization, it's like, even though we don't have all the answers, it's like you're part of a movement and a think tank that helps get to the place where there's the answers are coming.
Yes. That's right. We're getting to the answers. We're getting to the answers.
Supporting people to know the questions to think about and to ask. And
yes, most definitely. It's a journey. So in the last 5 minutes that we have, just one more plug for the mug. the hoodie, and the t-shirt.
It's just, look how nice it is. It's so comfortable.
I love that. I love it.
And
it looks comfy. It really does.
It's very comfy.
Yeah.
I totally recommend it.
Good. And before we close out, I just want to say, Kim, I could not do any of this without you. You have been working this organization from the time you began, with everything that you have, because your heart is in it. It's not just because of our friendship or, anything like that, but it's because of your, you really care about the issue, but you care about the organization.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. In the organization, beyond the organization, you live that in your life. It's a reflection of that. So, and that's what we're talking about when we say, bringing people on who have that commitment to it and that connection to the work that we're doing. That's what makes it happen. I wish I had 5 of you.
The thing is, our organization, I really believe, will change the world in some kind of way that's so positive. And it's just, I want that impact to happen, because it is happening right now it's happening a smaller, but it will be a huge scale one of the days. So
yes,
I'm just thrilled with what we're doing, and
doing good stuff. We're doing really good stuff, making history. We're making history.
Healing the world, and we're healing ourselves. And
yes, most definitely. And I think that, and everybody's bringing something different, you know, to the table. We all have these different strengths, and I think that we fill in the gap for each other's weaknesses, which is, you know, perfect, is exactly the way it's supposed to be. And so, and when we all want the same thing, everything just connects. Because we know at the end of the day, it's about the stories and it's about the organization.
Yeah. And I just love you and everybody. And
love you too. Thank you for sticking it out until 2 o'clock with me.
I don't know where it came from, but it happened.
Listen, and you know, I don't mind doing these, but we're really gonna have to like divvy up the hours between the board.
Yes, divvy up the hours and try to set up some sort of crowdfunding to go with it, where we could put these videos in that crowdfunder.
Yeah. Well, we can still do that. I think we're going to still do that. We're going to chop up pieces of this. This will stay on the Facebook page. It will stay on YouTube, but we'll chop it up, and we can add it and take sound bites and put it on something, for the film and everything else. So,
but we definitely, it's fun. Other board members, it's very fun to have this.
It is.
Telethons, you know, when I'm listening to NPR or something, like, oh no.
Right? That's exactly what we were going for, like the whole NPR thing, you know?
Right. And it's like, I don't know if I can do a telethon. Apparently I can. And if you want me to sing badly, I will.
Right?
I don't have the talent, but
just be glad that this wasn't a 12-hour.
Oh, I know.
Because 4 hours was a lot.
Now that we're down to the last minute, I'm like, woohoo!
Yes. But I think what made it is we had the guests, having Kelly on, having Dano on, having Anik on, and having an opportunity for me to open up. And share the history of the organization, what the project's all about, our intentions behind it. I think, you know, all of that just sort of set the stage and to bring everybody in. And then you and I got a chance to really talk about, you know, the structure of the organization and the future of it, what that means for us, what that means for our community, and society as a whole. You know, we look at our work as being that big, that it's going to affect society in a way. And so I think we laid it all out. So if anybody wants to know about our organization, just send them to this video. If they got 4 hours.
On our website, there's a place to write a note, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, info@givingvoicesproject.org.
Yes.
You know, thank you for being here with us and donating, and you'll be in our credits. So
most definitely. So remember, if you can come afterwards and you see $25 or more, you get a t-shirt, you get a mug, and if you donate $50 or more, you'll get that lovely hoodie. And
colors too, so you can get it in white as well.
That's right. You can go to our website and just click on swag online store, and you'll be able to see the entire catalog there, and then we'll make sure and get it to you. So all right, so we're done. Thank you so much, Kim. Enjoy Halloween.
Thank you.
Oh, definitely. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.